Hello, everyone, and welcome to Summer Splash 2024. If you tuned into our 9-second stream earlier, congratulations. We are well past that technical difficulty now, and we are here to kick off the stream once again. My name is Lucas, but I also go by Caesar. I'm joined here by.
I'm Reed, and I also go by Flight. Good to meet you all, and welcome to Summer Splash 2024.
Welcome. We are in group stage, game two. It's a round robin five. We're an upper division for League of Legends. So the game you all missed was anti-disestablishmentarianism, who is joining us again for this game, and they played against pick a random team name for us. Anti, which is how we were referring to them, did win that last game, and they're gonna go ahead and hop into the second game here. Reminder: this is a round robin, so simply determining groups. No one here is kicked out just yet. You're gonna have to wait for tomorrow and Sunday for that. And we're hopping straight into pick and ban here, more specifically the ban portion of that. And yeah,
One thing to note here. When Lucas has said that the Antis won that last game, what he's leaving out is that they absolutely curb stomped their opponents with a combination of a terrifying Belveth, a very strong Misfortune, and a Braum that was seemingly everywhere. So we're gonna have to see if they pull out any of those champs again, or if they go with the Nico or the Gnar that they picked last game. And I noticed actually that the Misfortune was banned on TB's side, so maybe they saw that last game and they were like, don't want to deal with that today. So we'll see here how the bans go.
yeah, and just for context, last game Anti also left two bans open. They're not actually left open. We're waiting to hear what the bans actually are, but unfortunately, we will get that information later. Do just want to remind everyone, if you did not hear before, this stream is sponsored by Phanteks. They are
Go
also
Phanteks.
providing, yeah, go Phanteks. They're also providing the prizing for our tournaments here. So for lower division, the winner will be getting an NV5 black case, and then for upper division, they'll be getting NV5 white cases. So, Phanteks, excellent company, great for all your PC needs, cases, other peripherals, and whatnot. And so, looking at picks here, we've got TB locking in an Ash Seraphine bot lane. Um, while
Yeah,
the yeah,
and here we see also the Twitch Braum. As I said earlier, the Braum was actually picked in this last game for the Anti's support Sterendi. So we'll have to see how he does on. We'll have to see how he does against a bot lane that has a lot more poke than the last bot lane was. They were playing against a Kaisa Nautilus last game, but now faced with Ash Seraphine, it might be that they have to deal with a lot more poke here, and I'm interested to see how Sterendi deals with that kind of pressure.
Yeah, definitely going to be put on the back foot. I mean, Ash Seraphine a very dominant lane, especially early. So we'll likely see Twitch, Braum just farm and try to survive for a long portion of time. We do see a Talia for TB's mid lane, so going to have a lot of pressure on those outward lanes. We'll see if those ganks can end up coming through. Braum Twitch, pretty vulnerable to a Talia gank. No way to get over the wall. Well, I guess Braum can if Twitch is over, but and same thing, they've responded with the rise. So mid lane's going to have a lot of
Yeah.
pressure on those side lanes.
I
Um,
will say I am very interested in this Aurora ban. Okay. It looks like there was a slight technical issue there, but for a second the screen did flash a Cassante ban at us. So we're probably going to not be seeing the Showmaker's least favorite champ anytime this game. And I am really interested in the Aurora ban here because with Seraphine and Talia picked on the enemy side, you'd think that Aurora is not that much of a threat. If they pick Aurora here, you can just build a whole bunch of MR, just stick a tank top lane, and just have almost free reign late game.
yeah, it's possible they banned it just to avoid playing against it because it's new. Perhaps their top laner just hasn't played against Aurora enough, isn't confident in the matchup regardless of how it fits in. There's a chance. I mean, these are best of ones, so we're likely going to see pick and ban lean towards
Yeah.
comfort, probably not that much on the fly strategies stuff developing in pick and ban. We'll likely see that tomorrow and Sunday. Sejuani jungle locked in for TB, very gank efficient jungler. And yeah, just gonna be add even more pressure to the side lanes, including the Talia. Um, Gnar locked in. up top lane for anti. We'll see how TB uses their counter pick here for that. Um, and then following, we'll see how anti chooses to pick their jungler. Camille locked in top here. Going to be Camille into Gnar. Are you familiar with that matchup, Flight? I am not a top laner.
I am somewhat familiar with that matchup, and like a lot of matchups against Camille, it depends on if you have a good sense of timing on when Camille's passive shield is up. If you do, you're probably not going to lose the lane. Well, that's what I would say, but from what I remember, Gnar not really the best matchup into Camille because if you fail to jump and you get hookshotted by Camille, that will swiftly turn into a kill, especially with that Sejuani as the jungler here.
Yeah, and Anti opted for the Shyvana jungle. I think this makes a lot of sense, opting for, I guess you could consider Shyvana more of a farming jungler. They're going to have Twitch, Braum, who's going to be pushed in most of the time, likely going to be a poor gank target. Rise, Talia will have the push onto Rise, and Rise can affect other lanes on his own. Gnar will likely have the push early, but I believe Camille does shove him out later. So I think the farming jungler makes sense. Just get Shyvana going, probably play towards bot side because they want those dragons. So when Twitch and Braum do back and eventually come, um, they'll be able to help.
With the Braum Twitch here, it's I feel like a lot of this late game macro is just going to be can the Braum body block all the CC? If the Braum can body block the Sejuani ult, if the Seraphine charm gets blocked by the shield, if the enchanted crystal arrow goes wide, they're just not going to be able to get on that Twitch. They're not going to be able to stop him. And even if the Camille and the Sejuani get there, Braum will still going to shut them down pretty hard.
Absolutely. Although I think that Talia will be the ace in the hole in that situation. Seismic shove just completely will ignore the Braum shield. And especially with Rise, Talia has a very good matchup into Rise late game because Rise has to lock himself in place to use a lot of his abilities. And that gives Talia at least an easier time with that seismic shove. When we get into super late game, Rise will just simply outrange Talia and out DPS her. But it's going to be interesting to see how
Um,
Braum plays this.
Okay, so I've just been informed that it is not actually a Rise mid. It is
Oh,
actually an Aurora mid, and that wasn't a ban, it was their pick. The website has decided to lie to us.
okay. Interesting. Well, I know next to nothing about Aurora. I know what her abilities do. I do not know anything about her matchups or how that's
Yeah.
going to go, but I'm
So I can elucidate for you a little bit on how the Aurora matchup goes. If you are a melee champ and you are into Aurora, I would advise leaving the lane immediately as soon as you can. If you are a ranged champion into Aurora, I would advise leaving the lane immediately as soon as you can. Aurora, very broken right now.
I see.
I'm actually kind of surprised it wasn't. I'm actually kind of surprised it wasn't banned out or anything by the tournament organizers here because Aurora is still not available in pro play as far as I know, and they're still waiting on hot fixes for her because she is just too good.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see that in action here. Anti took the last game. We'll see if they can do it again. Much more poke to contend with this game. Like you were mentioning with the Ashe, Seraphine, Talia, just lots of artillery, but it is straightforward artillery,
Yeah,
straightforward skill shots. Obviously, Braum will thrive in that situation, but
I,
I think this is really going to come down to the early game. I think if TB cannot capitalize on the fact that they have Talia, Sejuani, Camille for this like map pressure, I think that the scaling and just general matchup that Anti has made for themselves will sort of flourish in the mid game.
yeah. I would also like to point out that now that I know it's Aurora, not Rise, that Aurora actually looks very. Any dash that comes into contact with the edge of her zone while the ultimate zone is up, it just doesn't work. It'll just knock you right back in unless it's a blink or an unstoppable. So that Camille hookshot, not going to go through. That Sejuani Q, not going to go through. That Talia ultimate, also not going to go through if for some reason a Talia is ulting into or out of an Aurora wall.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this. I think in particular Twitch. Twitch with Aurora, I think could be theoretically very deadly. because the Twitch ult will be long enough to shoot targets trapped in the Aurora ult. So I'm hoping we get to see that wombo combo of just the
Yeah.
Aurora drops the ult, traps whoever inside, and then Twitch gets free reign. He can't be touched by Camille, can't be touched by Sejuani. Just really capitalizing on that. And I believe this for me, this will be my first time casting or even really watching a semi-professional game with, well, semi-professional, but a real game with an Aurora. So I am excited for that.
I feel like we're glazing a little bit too hard with
Look,
semi-professional, but otherwise, yes.
I gotta hype up the players, you know.
Yeah,
As far
yeah.
as I'm concerned, any one of these players could beat Faker. That's just how it is. All of these players, pro league players by my standards. So I believe we're in spectator delay, so we're gonna be
Yeah,
waiting
we
here
are.
for just a
We're
bit.
gonna be just put on the elevator music or something. Sit back, have a nice drink. We'll be back with you very shortly to start this game up and get ready with gassing.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are on to the Rift
Hello.
here with the boys versus
Oh, and immediately going
anti-disestablishmentarianism.
into the action. I see.
Yeah, both teams can be fighting around this red side.
Oh,
Flash view from the Braum. That's going to force out another flash. Monthly follows up with the flash, but he's in a little too deep. He drops really low. It's gone onto the Stormy, and she's going to drop. First blood goes to Gnar. Immediate trade back 4-2. One for the Ash, one for Lilac Soul. Overall, a 2-for-1 in favor of the boys, but first blood does go to anti.
Minions have spawned.
yeah. Also, those were. That's really not a good trade for anti though. Like they might have gotten that first blood on the Gnar, might have gotten a little bit onto the Camille. Oh no. Speaking of Camille, Camille has no items right now.
Oh no.
That's Camille is going to be recalling at 1 minute 25 seconds as the wave's coming in. Are we gonna be seeing the free level 1 teleport?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll probably just miss a few minions, unfortunately. And that's especially gonna hurt because Nar does have the 1 kill for anti. So
Yeah, that's the one lane where you really don't want to be behind your lane opponent. I will say though, interesting to see. The Braum actually has no summoners right now, and the Shyvana also going to be flashless for a little while. So if it comes to be a 3v3 in the bot lane, we're gonna be seeing a whole lot of advantage going over to the side of the boys here.
yeah, absolutely. Heal also down for Lilac Soul. That should be up though by the time the next fight comes out. And level 2 for the boys here. They're gonna put some pressure, but Lilac Soul might. Nope, he's just fine. And this is kind of what we were talking about before with the Braum Twitch. They're gonna get shoved in quite a bit here.
Yeah, I really am interested in seeing how they do that, because if you'll pardon the pun, with Sejuani kind of ready to dive at any moment, especially on the Twitch that doesn't really have any mitigation other than the barrier, they could just get iced out in the bot lane here.
Yeah, for sure. Surprised that Ashe didn't go with a Cole. I mean, that kind of insinuates to me that they're looking for kill pressure. Otherwise, probably would have bought a Cole. But really want the extra AD. Heavy trading here in the mid lane, but both champs almost out of mana, likely gonna back soon. And yeah, let's keep in mind where Sejuani is on the map, because that's really the important player here in the early game. Nimbus, really gonna want to look where he's gonna send that first gank and if it's gonna be successful or not, because I think that'll be a big tell for this game as to where it's going.
Yeah. One interesting thing to look out for is that Sejuani is actually fairly behind here. If the Shyvana sees, oh yeah, and Shyvana's got a ward down. The Sejuani's been spotted now, and we might be seeing Monthly going down and double scuttling here, or maybe actually just getting a kill onto Talia. But looks like Aurora just a little bit too low there.
Talia gonna grab the kill and flash away. Actually makes it out with the aid of Sejuani here. Monthly gonna drop to half. He's gonna have to back up. TP forced.
Oh wait, no, we got this Serenity coming in with the Braum.
Yeah, Nimbus is in trouble here.
Yeah, there's no Q on that Braum. There's no Q on that Sejuani. Sejuani has to flash out. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
The Aurora passive gonna take him out.
So remember earlier when I said Aurora was broken? Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting Sejuani to actually get out there, but looks like Aurora going to continue doing Spirit Realm things.
Yeah, and we have a very active early game here. Honestly, not what I would have expected from monthly searches and just generally the scaling comp that Anti has, but it's been exciting here early, and both teams basically equal with gold. We've got 1 extra kill for the boys, but yeah, the gold mostly in the bot lane here for the boys with those 2 kills down there, whereas for Anti, gonna be concentrated, I guess spread around a little bit. Looking at the gold here, yeah, bot lane relatively equal actually. Twitch a little bit of a gold lead.
Wait,
oh, I'm sorry. No, just kidding. My bad. I looked at the wrong number. No, yeah, he's a kill down, but still.
It's like, wait, they've got that much CS? Wow. Anyway, yeah. One thing that I think will happen soon is we're probably gonna be seeing a lot of fights around this early Drake here, because it's pretty easy to burst down. The Infernal, not famously difficult to burst down like the Chemtech and Cloud Drakes sometimes are early game. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing that Shyvana just immediately beeline directly to the Drake, probably giving up the grubs for it if Nimbus is going to head towards the grubs here and give up the Drake, because it looks like that's what's happening. Yeah, everybody's rotating down on the side of Anti, and we're going to be seeing this Drake fall pretty quickly here, trying to get that Shyvana to ramp up early before the boys can do anything about it.
Yeah, Nimbus going to head topside with his time. Nar should know this is coming. Momsto's going to walk forward. Looks like Nimbus is going to back up.
Oh, that's level 6 on Camille. Okay, so Sejuani just deciding it's better to go for the grubs. but I don't think Sejuani can get it anymore. That was a lot of time wasted, and we see Shyvana just going up directly towards those grubs. Looks like Nimbus is just gonna take the one grub, and get out while he still can.
Yeah, although
Oh,
Dragger Light is walking up here. Mom searches Popsy. Oh, he's
Wait.
in.
wait, what happened? What happened to the Camille? Why is Camille's health so low?
Huge Aurora gets dropped, and that's gonna trap Mom's toes. Mom's toes gonna go down. Will Dragger right? Oh, flash from the Gnar, and that's almost certainly a dead Talia.
Wait, how the? Okay, yeah, the Shyvana just hitting 6 off that grub and immediately going in, knowing that Aurora is right there, and Talia can't use her ult mid-combat. Actually managing to go, I believe, 3-0 there, which is kind of incredible. And we see more action in the bot lane here. Ashe getting stunned down, Sassafras ignited, but he's got that heal, he's got that barrier, and Serena is going to die here. Nezumi probably gonna die as well. No real way out for the rat. He was not, in fact, hiding that time.
Yeah, that's surprising that they would try to fight that. I mean, Braum Twitch just very, very weak, especially with the lower gold. I mean, they had a gold lead in the Ashe Seraphine, and that's just a stronger lane early. So surprising that they thought it. Maybe they had a Braum stun. I know we didn't get to see the beginning of the fight. They thought they had it, but just very tragic overcalculation. That's going to tie the score back up to 5-5 as Ashe already 150 gold bounty here. Likely going to finish an item or get very close to it on this back.
I mean, looks like the Greaves were actually purchased on the side of Ashe, so that gold lead almost entirely going to be going into that boost there, making sure Ashe can get back, making sure she can take good trades, and making sure that Twitch, with no movement abilities, is going to have a very hard time of stepping up for any CS if any abilities are hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of gold lead, top lane here, Gnar with the 2 kills. Gonna be a fair bit richer than Camille up here, but Camille will likely just end up farming under her tower. We'll see if Gnar can end up freezing it and sort of making that lead wider. But Camille gonna be sort of put on the sideline here until she can get that first item and really start affecting other portions of the map. And speaking of, Talia ult almost off cooldown, so hopefully we'll see if
Enchanted Crystal Air goes wide.
Yeah, very close, and that would have been immediately followed up by the Sejuani ult if that hit. So that probably would have been death for Ashe if that hit.
Thankfully, it looks like the anti-bot lane managed to ping it in time, managed to warn their mid laner of the approaching doom.
So looking at, we're about to approach 10 minutes. Looking at this, who do you think's in the better spot? I mean, both teams obviously have kills. Although, as I say that,
definitely not Serena anymore, and not the Twitch either. Gonna get hit by that. Gonna get hit by the Seraphine Charm even after that flash. Nezumi barriering, trying to take down Lyle Soul. Will actually manage it with the Twitch poison. Is Nezumi gonna get out here? Nezumi gets out with the stealth.
Wow, excellently played from Nezumi there. And Shyvana's going to ult forward.
Going in. You see Shyvana with the E. That is going to deal a approximate metric truck of damage. Oh, what an unfortunate. Oh dear.
Alright, Nimbus is up here on the top lane. Ultimatum dropped down onto the Gnar. Sejuani ult invested as well. He's about half HP. Going to shove Mom's toes into the wall. We'll see if he can make it out. Yeah, just not quite enough damage there on the duo from the boys.
Why did everything happen all at once? Every lane did something.
Yeah.
Did we miss a kill in the mid lane? I feel like something happened mid. We missed it.
Yeah, because we're tied up 7-7. So yeah, something definitely happened, but both teams sort of falling into equilibrium. I mean, the boys are down about 1,000 gold, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not too much. I think especially with this early game comp, you definitely want a bigger lead than that. But I'd say either team is definitely in the running for this next Dragon / Baron. I'd
agree with that. I think the one problem here to look at is if you look at Nimbus, that's a Sejuani ult for this Drake. It's still going to be on cooldown. Everybody else's ults are up. I was going to say Braum doesn't have ult, but clearly proving me wrong as he hits the ward for level 6. Everybody's ults are up except that Sejuani ult. If they can't stall this out, if the antis manage to take advantage of that, this is going to be a very short break fight followed by a very long drop off a cliff for the boys.
Yeah, we see some red pings on the grubs here. I think Siobhan is going to opt for that top side. They're going to give up the dragon here. Going to go one dragon for one dragon. And Shavana, she was walking towards the pit, but oh, yep, going to grab the scuttle first, and they're going to try to trade grubs for drag here. So Leah
note,
has ult, could cross the map fast, but I think they're just going to give up those grubs.
Yeah, of note here, the Camille was actually bought there for a little bit. It does have the teleport to get back up top, but deciding not to. And oh my god, Sejuani with the ult is just going to immediately be shutting down that Aurora. No bunnies allowed in this game.
Yeah, and they're going to walk over to the pit. They're going to steal one of the grubs. Monthly Search is going to be able to get out of there with the jump, but one grub taken. Definitely worth the walk over, especially with the kill mid lane.
Yeah,
and all of that, still a lot of important ults here. I mean, still have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and the Talia wall if they want to make a play bot. Talia's going to go on a back here, going to grab the Archangels. Mom's Toes, though, being ran down a little bit. The Gnarl still up. Looks like the Sejuani has come to help, though. They're going to re-engage. But Monthly Search is here. Huge Gnarl going to immediately take out Mom's Toes. And Nimbus is in trouble. Going to try to run, but this dragon does not care. Flash invested. Going to make him escape, actually. So 1-for-0. Excellent counter gank there from Monthly Searches.
Yeah,
I believe he walked up the lane.
Yeah, he did walk up to lane. It's really incredible, actually. Both junglers have been almost exactly where they need to be at all times. You've kind of seen them like just barely hovering around mid lane for a little bit, but every so often.
Wall invested bot lane though. Brom's stuck on one side. Should be able to jump over if he has it, but got a flash over. Not gonna get him out though. He'll invest the ult, but
well, the ult was invested directly into the nearest wall apparently, but.
I'm curious if he had jump because Nesmi was standing out of Braum jump range.
I believe the Braum jump was used earlier on to get out of turret range, and that's why he wasn't able to jump out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We do see now everybody's starting to complete their first items, and of note here is despite the 2,000 gold. Oh my, wait, never mind. Monthly going in on his own blue buff. It looks like he did manage to get it before Nimbus could smite it out. But now Serena there.
Esme on the flank. They're gonna burst Nimbus down to about half. So Seraphine gonna get absorbed by the Braum. Disengage here coming from the boys. Can they kite it out? The Braum goes low, but Rampage onto Nimbus. But we have the turnaround from mid, and yep, Ash gonna go down there. And
yeah,
again, we're back
Aurora.
to 10-10.
Yeah, Aurora very dead. What we weren't able to see on the observer cam, but we're able to see on the mini map, is that the Aurora got caught out by a Talia seismic shove, and was promptly reminded that bunnies are in fact a prey animal.
Yeah, we see Malignance first for Aurora. Is that standard? I'm not familiar with Aurora.
Aurora's build path hasn't really been set out yet per se, but you'd go Aurora Malignance for a lot of the same reasons you would eyrieflyte, because it's a good mobility option that also happens to do a metric ton of damage, and it does actually, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that if a player walks into the wall after the ult is already cast, it will reproc Malignance. So that magic resist will get shredded again, and that wall will be doing even more damage.
Makes sense. Monthly Search is going to be doing the Herald here as Mom's Toes gets forced under tower. Hopefully, yeah, Camille's going to have to take that back there as Rift's Herald is going to go the way of Anti. Meanwhile, Seraphine pushing in Twitch here on the bot side. I'm not sure what the health bar on that turret is, but it's mostly full, actually. Curious where they're going to put this Rift Herald. I think mid's the obvious sort of default for Rift Herald, but...
Oh, it appears the answer is enemy blue side jungle going to mid. Ding, 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 we have a winner.
Yeah?
Oh, well. We see Nimbus here coming up on the Aurora, but Aurora does have some wards there. Probably not going to get caught out by that. This third Drake here is going to be coming up. Very interested in seeing how that.
Dive's going to go down onto the Camille, though. Goes to half, gets stunned and destroyed by the duo from Anti. Excellent tower dive there. The Camille just not enough to save him.
Yeah. Somewhat amusing is never. Oh, it's not amusing anymore. Aurora has decided that there are no more jokes to be had, and that Talia is probably going to go down here.
Yep, 2 flashes invested here, 1 on each side. Oh, but this
Glacial
tornado
Prison.
turns. Gnar gonna have to flash to make it out of that.
Seraphine Ultimate going wide there, probably saving the Gnar. He gets caught in that. He is 100% dead. So, what I was saying earlier was somewhat funny. The CS gaps between the Gnar and the Camille and the Aurora and the Thalia are roughly the same, except... looks like we've... Are we lit? Looks like we've got some technical difficulties on the stream here, so you're just going to be seeing our beautiful faces for a little while longer. But what? So at the end there, both teams were actually fairly even. Although I would say that the Antis had a bit of an edge, there. What with that recent team fight and the Gnar managing to get the kill onto the Fentalia. Who do you think is going to win this game?
So, speaking of which, I believe the tech difficulty we got was because the game ended. So, the 3-minute stream delay that we are behind, I believe the game will be ending.
I'm sorry, what?
Apparently, so with that in mind, my immediate thoughts go to the more early game-oriented team. Um, Although honestly, the game was relatively equal, so I think either team could theoretically pull ahead, but I don't know. I mean, Harold was invested mid, so I think red side would obviously have the vision advantage. It might maybe it comes down to a Baron, and then whatever team is able to sweep Baron or drag and sweep the other team. I mean, it seems very early for an actual win or loss, but um, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, this tech
Yeah.
delay gets
So,
fixed.
I've gotten some more information, mainly because I do actually know Sterendi, the Braum on Anti's team. That was a 19-minute win for their team.
All right, and that
I
he's on anti, correct?
Yes. So I'm
Okay.
not entirely sure how that happened, but what the only thing that comes to mind is the Talia getting dove on, the Glacial Prison, and the Seraphine Ultimate getting committed and being on relatively long cooldowns that early allowed for just with the Rift Herald that I think might have actually still been going as that fight was happening. Um, that just allowed for an incredible snowball directly into enemy nexus. Either that or a surrender vote, which seems a little odd, but we'll see. We'll see if we can pull up a recording of that fight so we can actually look at it here. But just in case, congratulations to Anti for just being an incredibly fast team.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and try and get more information and see you guys for the next game. So we're gonna cut to break and try to figure out what happened.
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Summer Splash Group Stage. We are on game three here. I'm going to be hopping straight into Champ Select. Just a reminder, this is a round robin, 5 round, best of one group stage. So tomorrow, tune in for quarters and semis, and then on Sunday, we will be doing finals. Still waiting on the team names real quick, but we should have those shortly. And I am joined here by Flight. My name is Caesar.
Hello.
And yeah, heading straight into pick and draft, we see a Kaisa locked in here on the blue side, hovering an Ash. We saw Ash last game with a Seraphine support, and that um, they ended up losing, but the bot lane actually did quite well
Yeah.
early. So
So for all our viewers here, we did actually manage to find out what happened at the end of the game there. And it turns out the game was almost instantly won with a 5-man Aurora ultimate. So
um, and that was on Team Anti-Disestablishmentarianism. So they won again. Not sure if they're in this game. I don't know if we're following the same team as they win, but we will see the Seraphine with the Ashe here once again. Very strong bot lane. Despite the loss, had a very strong showing there from the boys last game. So makes sense. Kaisa, I think first game we saw Kaisa matched up with a Nautilus, but Kaisa can really function with any tank support. Looks like we will see the Nautilus here. I'm psychic, guys. Thank you. Um,
incredible.
but yeah, so both teams with their bots locked in. Looking at bans real quick, just because we haven't really discussed that too much. A lot of bot lane bans. Draven, 3 ADCs banned out. Draven, Caitlyn, Jinx, and then we see the Blitz ban and the Lulu ban. Amumu going to be locked in here on blue side, probably going
Interesting to
jungle.
see Mumu.
Yeah, very, very strong ganker, especially with the Nautilus. I mean, Nautilus combined with Mumu, that's a lot of lockdown.
Yeah, it's a little odd to see him here though, because especially in a lot of more pro matches or matches where all the teams have a lot of communication, Amumu is generally considered to be a fairly, not, I won't say awful pick, but definitely poorer than the rest of the competition because he has no mobility at other than forwards with his Q. So if you manage to catch an Amumu out of position, he can maybe press ult every once in a while, but otherwise he is just going to be stuck up a creek without a paddle if the enemy can ever catch him off guard. And
Yeah, I want to talk about this red side because
I
Morgana and Seraphine. So one of them will be support and one of them will be mid. I believe the Seraphine goes mid.
it
But
could be Morgana
it's
jungle.
yeah, and that's the other thing. Either the Seraphine can go mid or the Morgana can go jungle. The Morgana can also technically go mid. Don't think that's the greatest decision, but the Morgana can go mid. And what this does, this is excellent for pick and draft because it means that these bans that are coming through right now for blue side are it's hard. You can't ban because no matter what they can flex. So like here they've banned Yasuo and Skarner. They don't really know, so they're just banning top laners. The mid lane, like I guess they're just banning Yasuo in general. I don't really know. I don't really know why Yasuo would come through on blue side or red side here. I don't know why.
Yeah, wait, that's probably going to be a Morgana jungle then, because
Yeah,
we just saw a Gallia.
Galio. Yeah,
I
Galio will probably go mid. Yeah.
um, so for team names, so just looking at these drafts, let's play a fun game. Because the draft's nearly done. We see the Camille coming out from blue side here. Let's play a fun game called "What do you think these team names are?" based on the draft.
Okay. I think there's a high likelihood because we saw anti this first and second game that we're still following anti. Like I think that might be what we're doing. So I think there's a good chance that one of these teams is anti. As the and a Vayne top. Oh my gosh. Whoever this red side team is, they're clinically insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say my vote for the team name for red side here is gonna have to be team F that one person in particular, because somebody is going to get hit by every single CC button in the game and they are going to be stunned for upwards of 10 seconds here. Hmm.
Okay, looking at comp. Okay, this is a hard game to analyze, but I think Okay, so they have the Galio for frontline. And then blue side has the Mumu and Nautilus for frontline. Red side obviously more damage. I mean, this is basically four damage champs on one team. I think let's see, the top lane matchup is Vayne Camille. I think I'm not too familiar with the matchup, but I know Vayne has to play it very
Oh,
carefully because if the Camille gets on her, then there's not a lot of getting out.
it's, yeah. So we did manage to find out the team names, and you'll never believe what these team names are. The team name for Team Blue is Team Bipolar, which
Okay.
is interesting. And I want you to look at the blue side bands, and I want you to. Do you think you know what team this is based on the blue side bands?
Um, I can no longer see the blue side bands,
I'll give
unfortunately.
you a hint. One of the bands was a Sejuani.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I believe this is my home team, UF, based on what you're saying. Um, Very exciting if Y-Band Sedge, we don't play it, is red side. And it's funny that they selected such an insane team comp because I would expect nothing less from my boys in orange and blue.
Yeah.
Um, but of course,
For,
I'm a
for,
completely unbiased caster. But
of
you know,
course, unbiased caster. So I suppose to balance out this completely unbiased casting, I will have to support the team bipolar. But for the record, yes, everybody watching, you did not mishear us. One of the team's names is, in fact, Why Ban Sedge, We Won't Pick, in all caps. I bet you'll never guess in a million years, Lucas. I bet you'll never guess what they play.
so I can provide some context for this because I happen to know this particular player in general. Um,
Oh,
Sejuan Del Sol is his league name. He plays
wait, is it?
Sejuani in nearly every role. Like he is, I've seen him play Sejuani mid. I've seen him play Sejuani support, top, jungle, anywhere. Um, and there he is quite known for trying to bait people into banning it. I I don't really know what the mental strategy is, but it got banned. So I guess
We're
his
clearly seeing a master at work. There could
yeah,
be no
clearly
other
his
explanation.
clearly his bait somehow worked. Sejuani was banned. I actually know most of the players here. Arsenal, who's in the top lane, plays a lot of Vayne top. It makes sense why he's playing that up there. Um, and yeah, the Morgana, Seraphine, Galio shenanigans, very silly, very interesting for draft. And honestly, I think it's fine. Like, I mean, it's not even gonna.
I mean,
I don't know.
as a caster, I'm interested in seeing how this game turns out. How this full CC comp can actually like play team fights once they've pressed all their main engage buttons. I'm interested in seeing that. As someone who actually plays League of Legends, I am hoping they lose quickly and immediately.
Yeah,
I really
it's a very, I believe what's gonna happen is it's a very pick heavy comp, right? Because you have Morgana and Seraphine, which both have very long range but very devastating CC. You have Galio who can go in and he's gonna be playing frontline most of this time, and then you have the Vayne, and then sorry, I can't remember the last champion. It's it's Vayne top. Okay, perfect. We have the actual
And
gameplay now.
we're gonna be moving on to the game, and it is in fact a vein top. It's Morgana, Galio, Ashe, Sarah. Of note here, before we even start, is I am a firm believer in Morgana E supremacy as someone who is a connoisseur of Morgana jungle. So what you're going to be seeing, especially with the lack of magic damage on the enemy team, is at in later team fights, if this game manages to get all the way to level 18, that Morgana shield does scale quite a bit with AP. So Nautilus ult and Amumu ult will probably not be breaking that shield on whoever it's placed on. So they are just going to be CC immune for most of a fight, if not all of it.
Yeah, that's an important thing we never really talked about. I mean, there's a few sources, but they're all small sources, right? Like Amumu technically can do some AP, Akshan, Kaisa, and Nautilus all do AP damage, but it's very low. So I agree with what you're saying. I think if that
Wait,
shield
Akshan
gets
does
used,
AP?
yeah, his passive I believe does
That
AP
does
damage.
magic?
I believe it's magic. Let me double check real quick. But I believe Akshan's 3-hit passive does AP.
Oh my god, even more words on the word champion. Ugh.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I will
speaking
double
of,
check that real quick.
and here we're seeing exactly how Vayne top plays, namely, by not allowing the enemies to play. That Camille, unless there is a jungle gank, will probably not be stepping up anytime soon. And speaking of jungle, you'll notice that Morgana not starting on her own side, other than to do the record, and immediately moving on to that blue side, making sure Amumu, even if he tries to come up for the Vayne gank, is just not going to be able to get anything done.
Yeah, we're gonna have some vertical jungling going on here, and I did look it up. Akshan passive does indeed do AP, so
Oh god.
will possibly help with that Morgana shield. The results of the vertical jungling, that will mean Amumu could theoretically gank.
Amumu doesn't know he's vertical jungling.
Oh
There was
no!
no wards placed. Amumu's gonna try to do his wolves. He's gonna try to move to his blue, and there's going to be no blue buff waiting for him.
Yeah, this is actually really tragic for him because without the usually the other buff will get warded by your top laner, but because that didn't happen, he's gonna spend all that time running topside, and then he's again here we see there's nothing there.
No.
He'll likely run to a scuttle crab, but this is gonna mitigate, I guess, some of the early game jungling that Amumu can do over Morgana, because Amumu obviously a better ganker, but with this jungle situation going on, it's gonna be harder for him to either farm or he might choose to gank right now.
Yeah,
But he's
so
on a ward, so
sad. No, he wasn't. He wasn't on a ward. That last minion that Akshan last hitted, just barely spotted the Amumu out before anything happened. So Amumu's gonna get locked out of basically everything here, and if he tries to go for anything, that bot lane is just waiting for him to step up, waiting for him to try something. Ash's hawkshot is gonna spot him out, gonna force him off of that red side blue jungle.
yeah. And if they saw Morgana, he could have been able to double scuttle because it's open, but Morgana been completely unknown. So it looks like Akshan will discover that the other scuttle is up. But by this point, Amumu's already back. He's running bot side. Might even go for a gank here through the bot side jungle.
I mean, also, yeah, worth noting, Amumu did in fact go red Raptors into Krugs as opposed to the more standard red Krugs Raptors pathing, maybe looking to get an early gank on bot. So his camps are going to be in a very odd position here coming up, but the enemy shouldn't know that. So and with no real wards other than maybe the hawkshot, and Akshan actually nearly killing Camille nearly killing the Vayne here, but Vayne gonna live on 1 HP. With that wave shoving in and no teleport on the Vayne, this could get hairy very quickly if Camille manages to land another hawkshot.
Yeah, Ignite dropped onto Arsenal, but he does still have his barrier up, so I don't think he'll die, especially because this wave is pushing into him. But yeah, very dangerous, especially if Hookshot gonna come in,
but it's not gonna kill.
Yeah, Condemn just an excellent disengage tool for Camille specifically. Although here we see with that Amumu bot gank, the Nautilus hook gonna go wide though, and the Amumu hook
or the Mango Meat with the moves. My goodness, there.
Yeah, this Ashe Seraphine very elusive. Just not necessarily because they're fast, but because you are slow when you're playing against them.
They are not fast. You are just very, very slow. There's no difference. Also, something we haven't really touched on at all in any of these games so far, but has been present in all of them, is Ashe and Seraphine are a very, very good combo, because how Seraphine's E works is that she'll fire the sound wave out, and Morgana actually going to get hit by something, but with that Dark Binding is just going to get out free of charge, because Morgana is Morgana.
Galio coming in is going to hit two people. Two-man taunt here. Flash comes out from Akshan. He's going to get away. First blood onto the Camille. Morgana's going to go down. Fell though. Ward dropped. He's just barely going to get out, it looks like. Arsenal 1 HP. Going to get ran down by Camille. He gets queued. Big Beast also going to go down. Tragedy for the UF team here.
Ouch. Yeah, that's going to put a huge damper in their plans. You can kind of see a lot of Vayne's lane is based on just being able to outstat your opponent, about being able to bully them off that wave. With that Camille having 2 kills and an assist now, and that Vamp Scepter to kind of heal up on the wave, Vayne's going to have a very tough time making sure that this Camille can't reach, and especially with the XP difference now, Camille's going to get level 6 first. So if the Condemn's not up and ready, or if the Condemn gets dodged by the ult, which can happen, although rarely, that is going to be a very dead Vayne.
Yeah, Morgana gonna grab the grubs here, and I agree with what you said, especially because Vayne does not have teleport. That is a barrier Vayne, so if Vayne gets bullied out of lane, has to recall, Vayne could potentially lose an entire wave, maybe two, without that teleport. So currently it's pushing into Camille, but we'll see how that gold gets used. We have Zerkers versus, I believe, a full Sheen for Camille there. So
Yeah,
we'll see how this
full
goes.
Sheen and a Vamp Scepter as well. So, of note, both junglers pathing back towards bot here. Not a lot's going to be happening top. This is going to just be a contest of will, wit, and also how well you can manage a wave.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Looking mid, Galio ult down, so not going to be able to affect other lanes, but will land a taunt. That's pretty good poke onto the Akshan here.
The problem is he just doesn't have any. He doesn't have any AP other than the Jordan Spring. All of his damage, like no matter how much he does, Akshan doesn't really do magic damage other than that 3-hit passive, as you said earlier. And with a BS sword, he's going to be trading back. He's going to be hitting back so hard compared to what Galio can do.
I'm curious how this, how Big Beast is going to build on Galio, because there's a few different ways you can do. You can either go sort of the hybrid AP health tank, where you build sort of like Rod, a lot of like, usually it's like Rod with excuse me, I can't think of the item. Just drain tank health AP
Rod of
yeah. Well, you build Rod first, and then follow it with some tank items. But as I say that, two-man gank here. Flash getting this from Mega Me. Another flash. 3-man Amumu ult and another 2-man Seraphine ult. Will they get out? Everyone dropping very low. Morgana's not going to make it out though. Seraphine will. The re-engage from Big Beast. 4-man taunt. Huge kill onto Boom. They're going to have to kite it out to back up though, as a lot of poke coming through. And that was
that enchanted crystal arrow still not used, by the way. That could be a very quick stun.
Big Beast gonna go down. UF Megami trying to get the kill on the Nautilus. Nautilus will flash away. Barrier invested from Megami, gonna block the Akshan ult, and
that could have gone. That could have gone so poorly, so quickly. If Megameat's even just a little further away, that barrier times out before the Akshan ult reaches him.
Yeah, that was, I think, overall a 2-for-1 in favor of bipolars, but that was a very, very dicey situation for the UF squad here. Megumi and Killdwin, both going very, very low.
I will say this is starting to look incredibly scary if you're the UF bot lane here, because now with that Akshan getting so fed with so many kills, Akshan starts clearing at level 9 even. He starts clearing caster minions in just one cast of his boomerang. So that wave is going to be shoving out really fast, and Galio, even though he's got a decent chunk of clear, can't really match that until the wave is grouped up, unlike Akshan, who can clear it just from the very beginning. Like you won't see here, we're looking at Morgana on the Drake here. But yeah, if you had looked mid, you would have seen that you would have seen them trading, actually. But normally, if the Akshan can be there while the wave's coming up, that wave just gets pumped for about half its health just off of one cast.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing about Morgana jungle, very good at taking objectives like grubs and dragons and even red heralds.
Those Krugs hit hard. Don't discount those Krugs, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Morgana's good at Krugs too.
Yeah, I mean she's really good at most camps, because I'm not sure how many people know this, but her passive does actually work on large jungle monsters, of which there is one in large or medium, of which there is one in every camp. So as long as that big monster is alive, Morgana's W does actually get its cooldown refunded. So she can clear super fast when given the right options. Just like this, where you can kind of see she can drop her W before the other one times out. So she is just going to shred those grubs here. Akshan Stealth, though, going to be able to pick up the Morgana. Does not manage to steal it. Going to have to grappling hook away. And all 3 grubs are going to be going over to Morgana. Yep, that's 6 grubs now over to the side of UF.
what we see is, yes, Y Band Sedge, aka UF, is down 4 kills. The gold lead is only 5k, 4k now. The objectives in the CS have actually ended up balancing
5.
out a lot of this gold. Oh yeah, it just jumped up a little bit with those waves, but they're not actually down that much considering the kills. But I think it will end up hurting them ultimately, just because this comp really wants gold. This is a gold hungry comp. Vayne wants a ton of gold. Ashe and Seraphine want a ton of gold. Galio is about the only one on the team that can operate with very low gold, and unfortunately, he's the one with the kill.
Yeah, I will say though, the US squad has okay.
1 second
Well, that's
though,
gonna
yeah.
be that's gonna be a Nautilus hooking and a Mumu stun onto the app. Mango is just immediately dead. Although the hero's effort comes in, manages to trade back a couple kills with Sarah's insane AOE. Serrano del Sol coming in with the Morgana Q. That dark binding gonna last approximately 300 years. Crady gonna try to go out here, but is gonna actually manage it. Juan and Children deciding to not try to pursue with their incredible CC.
Yeah, 2 for 1 in favor of UF there, and that's one of the first fights they've won all games. So it's good to see on their side.
Wait, yeah, checking top. This
Oh,
could be a dead
investment from
Camille here.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
Huge shutdown.
that Vayne ultimate is gonna be immediately used upon seeing the hook shot used. You can't get out on Camille if you don't have that up, unless you're going towards your opponent. And with the immense health difference, this is going to be a wave shoved in. And I was gonna say earlier, before they proved me even more right, Y-Band Sedge has done an incredible job of recovering from those pretty bad early game fights. Even though that Akshan has a bunch of kills, even though that Amumu has a bunch of assists, they haven't really managed to convert that into anything. UF has done a good job of playing safe, of managing to take back the tempo of the game, and now we've got the Vayne firmly back in control of this top lane, and the Amumu kind of almost neutralized by the Galio just being there all the time when he's needed.
Absolutely, and that is one advantage of this sort of unorthodox comp here from UF. It's very good at bouncing back just because it is so pick heavy. I mean, this comp is very good at making picks. As you said, that fell gonna jump away from Big Beast. The Enchanted Crystalero, Seraphino, Morgana stun, even just the heroic entrance. This Galio has been all over the map. I mean, a big reason why UF has been able to bounce back so well is because of Big Beast's performance in these amazing Galio ults, and especially these taunts. I mean, we've seen 2 or 3 to 4 man taunts. I mean, that's amazing on Galio, especially as the only frontliner here. And as for his build, he is going to opt for the tanky build, which is the one I didn't really get to explain. It's your traditional tank build. He started off with a Sunfire, and given that there's really no significant source of AP on bipolars, he'll probably keep stacking armor. I would not be surprised to see a oh my god, I'm blanking. Zhonya's Hourglass, if he wants the AP, he can even go with an Unending Despair. That's likely what he will go for. And as I say that, the Nautilus is going to get caught out here.
Speaking of Unending Despair, that's a whole lot of CC. Oh no. Oh wait, the Mumu goes in, manages to get 3 with the big stun, but it's not going to be enough. The UF is going to have too much damage, and that Enchanted Crystalero catching the end of the flash on Grady. Just going to be absolutely wrecking them. Fell here, trying to get something for his passive, trying to get a res, trying to get some gold. Will not be able to manage it. He is just one man against an army of roots and stuns and CC and slows and more stuns. Yeah, he's just not getting anywhere near.
Yeah, and that will be the drag for Y-Band Sedge. And
yeah, that's a dead Camille. While we were all distracted by the big fancy plays going on, down in red side, down in blue side's red jungle, the Arsenal actually managed to win against the Camille in the 1v1 with that Blade of the Ruined King completely built, managing to just chase down instantly. Tell is gonna go in, but I don't think much is going to be accomplished there. But now that turret in the top side is going to be destroyed. If you see a Vayne coming towards you, it's probably too late to run because she just gets extra movement speed moving towards players. Now, if Camille ever doesn't have the hook shot up, Arsenal's just going to run them down.
Absolutely. And one really important thing that somehow I guess we didn't notice, that is a Leandry's Amumu. That Mumu is not building tank. He saw the lack of AP and said, I'll handle it.
So
Now, if it's working out, to be discussed, but that is a Leandry's Amumu, so
yeah,
Bipolar is actually going to have a little bit of a lot more AP presence
yeah.
than they
So
otherwise would.
I mean, I don't know how familiar are you with jungle builds nowadays?
Not familiar. I know Amumu does actually have pretty decent AP scaling.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he is diving directly into the team of basically full damage, so
Yeah.
he's
I don't
essentially a
think.
glass cannon. But the
Oh
big
my.
beast
Oh.
flank onto 2 fell immediately going to go down. On the top side, Arsenal goes in on the 3 members. Oh, he's just doing so much damage to the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa going to go down. CC drops down onto the Mumu. He's going to drop taunt onto the Nautilus. He's also going to go down. All the while, Big Beast tanking everything. Camille on the bot side, not even going to get the tower for their troubles. And that's a, what was that, 4 for 1?
I don't
4 for
even
0.
think it was a.
Yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't
4 for 0.
a 4-for-1. That was just a 4-for-0. Even with the killer instinct and even with the killer instinct and the dash and everything, Kratos just could not get out there. There was just too much CC. The hero's entrance just completely shutting down any attempt at getting a pick onto Arsenal or even trying to damage him a little bit while everything was going down on the bottom side of mid.
Yeah, and Big Beast just doing an amazing job. First, the flank, which immediately killed Fell, and then dropping the ult onto Arsenal. Just amazing. This Galio is everywhere. He is all over the map. Wendell Soul gonna force out the flash from Fell.
Speaking of everywhere, Big Beast once again proving that he is the dependable rock of Durant and just making sure Juan del Sol not dying today.
Yep, and he's opted for the Abyssal Mask. Actually a very good pickup, especially considering the Leandries and more AP sources. He definitely wants some MR, and Abyssal Mask specifically reduces the MR of things around him. And what is he doing? He's getting in the middle of everyone. He's got a Seraphine, a Morgana.
Oh, no.
He can definitely benefit from that.
Oh, Nautilus, no, don't go into the light!
Yeah,
Too
unfortunate.
late.
The vision control from Y-Band Sedge is just a little too strong here, especially on the bot side. Caught that Nautilus out there a little bit.
Yeah, this is absolutely terrifying now for bipolars because it's just like a pack of piranhas. If there's one champion, there are probably more. As you can see, as Fell trying to run away from Big Beast and runs directly into Enchanted Crystal Arrow, manages to get out with Boom's help, but like if you ever step up and you only see 1-2 members of Y-Band Sedge, there is a very real chance that you are going to find yourself dead and stun locked and grayscaling in just a couple of seconds.
Absolutely, Arsenal might be catching out the Camille here. Oh, gonna get caught on the recoil. I don't think he knew he was being attacked, condemned, but the Quickshark's gonna keep him out. He immediately gets rooted by the Amumu, but I don't think Amumu wants this. This is a lot of Vayne and Ashe damage. He's gonna go down. The Bork and Trinity Force, just this Vayne is way too strong right now.
And that's gonna, oh wait, and that's the enemy jungler dead, and that's a Vayne and an Ashe, both with items, both with very, very good damage on the Baron and Ashe alongside the Leandries and max health from Morgana. This Baron is going to get shredded like it is made of cheese.
Yeah, they're going to try to trade the mid tower here, and they will get it. That is also a bounty, so a decent bit of gold, a little bit of a consolation prize. They're going to grab the bot one as well. Actually, a lot of gold here coming from objective bounties. But it is important that Kraiti and Ios get out of there.
So the funny thing there is, from the math that I know, every turret bounty is worth, I believe it's something to the effect of 150 gold per person. So they traded 2 turret bounties for the Baron, which leaves them just even on gold after shutdowns. After the, not the shutdown, the comeback bounties. And for their trouble for having to push out all those lanes and having to recall, Y-Band Sedge immediately going to move, trying to get into that base. Going to actually manage to do it. Even just straight up killing someone's charm, going in for the Sejuani Fell is going to drop. He is going to be felled immediately. The Morgana starts finding, he's going to find 2. Stun onto Boom. He's going to be rooted 300 years of CC. Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming in. Crady getting dropped low. Heroes Entrance coming in. Crady managing to get out. Oh, just barely getting caught out by the flash from I believe it's Sejuan and Mango. Now all that's left is Lucas Honey on their team. And Sejuan deciding it's better to go out a hero than die as the villain, and making sure that the Camille does not receive any shutdown or any gold from that kill.
Yeah, and there's a good chance this is the end. They're gonna take the left side tower there, and hopefully we might.
And we just got hit by the end of the game here. So we're
Um,
going to take that as yes, the game did end there.
Yeah, apologies everyone. We've been having this issue where if the game ends stream, even though we have stream delay, the actual spectator will end. And so the game just ended. That means that the game will actually end in about 2 minutes. I think it's fair to assume that why I picked Sedge won. Um,
I offer no rebuttal to this point.
Apologies for that again. I know that happened last time. It's a bit of a bummer. We're working on a
So
fix.
more than anything else, can we?
Red team has slain the dragon.
Reclamation. Music endures.
I'm still ecstatic one. Um, it was a well-fought game, especially given the fact that they kind of had to bounce back a
Before,
little bit from the beginning.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just a real quick shout out while we're here. Um, Once again, this stream is sponsored by Phanteks. They are providing the pricing for both upper and lower division, so thank you to Phanteks. But also, we have an excellent sponsor in the Gen G coaching program. I'll tell you a little bit about that.
Genji
Um,
coaching program, you say?
Yes, if you, like me, are not good at video games or only average at video games, you should check out Genji's coaching program to maybe get that skill up. So, so you can go ahead and put exclamation point Gen G in the chat to learn more. But I can also tell you a little bit about it now. The GGA Play is now live in NA. So you can rank up with their handpicked coaching staff and queue up with their community for the convenience of your own home. They have specific programs for Valorant, League, and Rocket League. So if you play Valorant, League of Legends, or Rocket League and want to get better, want to climb the ranks, want to be better just in general, or just want someone to sort of teach you the ropes and show you how to play, put exclamation point GGA to learn more in the Twitch chat and check them out on their website or any socials, Gen G.
Yeah, sounds fun. And before we continue, Lucas, I'd just like everybody to give a quick moment of silence to all those poor souls hit by Morgana Qs, by the Enchanted Crystal Arrows, by the Seraphine
Yes.
E's and Charms. I'd just like to give a moment of silence to those poor souls.
They will be remembered, by QSS. Moral of the story. Moral of the story, buy QSS, or take cleanse. It saves lives. We are gonna go ahead and cut to break. We will see you guys we'll see you guys for game 4, right? We're on next game will be
Uh,
game 4.
Third game streamed, game 4 in the rounds here, but we will
Yes.
see you all later, and hopefully you guys check back into the stream when we come back online. Peace for now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Summer Splash Group Stage Round 4, Best of One, Round Robin, 5 rounds total. We are here. I am Caesar, aka Lucas, and I
And
am joined by.
Flight, aka Reed. Nice to be back with you all. And we're going to be moving directly into this draft at lightning quick speeds, as both teams already passed into picking. With Ergot Gwen Yone getting banned on the side of I Like Apples and banning Casio Hui Lux.
Important to know here, which might explain why the fast draft. These are our top two seeded teams, so do not be surprised if you find these young ladies and gentlemen in the finals. These are two highest seeded teams,
Yeah.
technically the favorites, if we're going to say that.
We've
So
even
we're
got
in for an
challengers here.
exciting
They're
game.
like almost professionals.
Yeah, masters, challengers, grandmasters, all present here. So gonna be a very exciting game here as both bot lanes gonna be locked in. Once again, Ashe Seraphine on blue side. We've seen it
We're
maybe 3 or 4 times this this
getting
stream.
getting getting a little bit of deja vu here. Uh,
Yes.
we're gonna be seeing Viego and Brand. Brand, although he can be picked both mid and support, a lot of times, although maybe he's fallen off a little bit recently, but a lot of times he's actually played as the jungler, so we might be seeing some Brand jungle here.
Yes, they've definitely taken a page out of Band Sedge's book with this hybrid jungle support mid flex pick in the second slot, which is exactly what they did, where it's very hard to draft around, right? Because your second round of bans are going to be difficult because you don't actually know where the next role could be for red side. They're going to show the Alistar, so really they're hovering jungle or mid. Alistar Ezreal bot, very safe bot lane. Very safe bot lane, and also a very well scaling bot lane. Alistar, one of those support tanks that doesn't necessarily outperform the other tank supports in the early and mid game, but come later portions of the game, and that Alistar ult will be incredible. His engage is incredible, even by engage tank support standards. And they're going to be up against Seraphine Ashe, thankfully. Ezreal, a very safe ADC. Ezreal can absolutely CS into Ashe Seraphine. Ashe Seraphine kind of needs their 6 to actually put pressure on Ezreal, so hopefully we'll see that. And as we go into the second round of bans, we see Zoe and Lucian here. Um,
Aw, they broke the streak. I was honestly kind of hoping would ban 5 mid laners just because that would be funny. But it looks like they are scared of something, and we'll have to wait just a little bit to find out what. But unless I'm wrong here, I believe I Like Apples is yes. This is the team that has 2 challengers on it, so they are going to be the team to look out for when it comes to basically all of these games here.
Yep, and the Nautilus ban is interesting because it makes sense in retrospect because Seraphine can flex mid. That's why the Nautilus ban exists. Because theoretically, if the Nautilus ban wasn't there, I Like Apples could pick Ashe Nautilus, send Seraphine mid into Brand. That's actually a good matchup. So I think they're doing that just to confirm, force the Seraphine to go bot. Um, they're clearly not that afraid of it. Although Varus locked in for that is
Is that
that's a doozy. That could be a lot of things. That could be
I
as
I think that's top lane.
yeah, I think so
Varus
too.
top was popular for a short period of time. I don't know if it's popular anymore, but that could very easily be a Varus top or a Varus mid. We'll still have heck. It could be an Ezreal mid. Although it's not picked very often, Ezreal can go into the mid lane. He's one of, I believe, the 480 carries that are often flexed into mid. And here we see again the Aurora was not banned out, so Aurora's going to get picked here and be on the lookout for some incredible ults coming out because that ult is very very big, and
Set. So I think we might see the Ezreal mid or Varus. Like I think we're gonna see set top, Brand jungle, probably Varus, Alistar bot, and then Ez mid is my guess. With a very strange latter half of the draft, but I do think it works, assuming that Ezreal goes mid and into Aurora. I think Ezreal has the range to stay out of Aurora's sort of kill zone pre-6, obviously. Uh,
even post six,
hey,
her
Blink,
her between worlds wall does not actually stop blinks, so Ezreal one of the very few champions who will just get out scot-free when it comes to that ultimate.
That makes sense why they would flex that in then with the set pick. Yeah, so this game going to be very interesting. Again, we see the Ashe Seraphine bot lane. They're obviously going to be pushing into Alistar Varus early, and then we'll see Alistar Varus sort of come to life a little bit later. Ornn Set, I don't know that matchup too well. I know Ornn obviously scales incredibly well into the late game. I assume Set pushes him in early.
No, yeah. Normally what happens in an Ornn versus Set matchup is the Set nominally has the upper hand, as in he has more pressure. He can shove as long as no junglers come, but it kind of all gets flipped up. It's kind of a coin flip as to what happens when the jungler comes. It really depends on Set's ability to land his haymaker, to land that incredible true damage onto whatever poor soul he's decided to stun.
Yes, and we see the Viego brand jungle differential. So Viego obviously a better ganker. Viego is going to be ganking a lot more. Brand likely going to be power farming. We might see a gank or two bot. The gank setup is actually very good with Alistar, and even Alistar, especially with Verisol. Their six gank is deadly. It is very, very
Yeah.
deadly if Brand comes. Although on that same token, the Ashe Seraphine R combo, we've seen that a few times this stream. It is equally as dangerous, especially
Yeah.
with the Viego diving in. So
I
I
mean,
think bot will be a hot spot this game, is my guess.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think a lot of how this game goes is going to depend on if this Ezreal takes cleanse. Because we saw from the last game what happens to ADCs who decide to be naughty and don't take cleanse. Spoiler alert, they die a lot.
Yep.
Also worth noting is a lot of these games, what we've been seeing is that a lot of these higher skill bracket teams are looking to flex their first couple of picks, and that's something that the Emerald teams didn't really do. They just immediately slammed a jungle only champ. They immediately slammed the ADC. But here with the Ezreal brand, even with the Alistar picked in those first three picks, we were left guessing as to what was going on. So that's kind of the power of flex picks, because if we were left guessing with a lot more information than I Like Apples has, God knows they're probably baffled. So
Yeah, absolutely. We are in spectator delay, so we're going to take a quick break real quick while we wait for that, and we will join you guys when the game starts in just a moment. All right, everyone, welcome back. We are going to go ahead and start this round 4 game that we just watched Champ Select for. And we have I Like Apples versus the two highest seeded teams in the tournament here. We do see I Like Apples opting for an
30
bottom
seconds
invade.
until the ring
Lucius
is
should
ready.
see this. Gonna get tagged by the Ash slow, but he'll probably just make it out. Yep, he'll make it out. Ward is dropped by Saint and
Interest,
likely gonna back up, but we could see a vertical jungle happen.
interesting that they didn't consider Flash a worthwhile trade there. I'd expect, especially with I'd expect, especially with a team comp that's more focused on poke, that they'd be willing to trade flashes early and making sure that the Lucian is or the Varus is
Minions have
slowed down.
spawned.
Yeah, and it does look like everyone's gonna back up. No vertical jungling happening. As far as junglers, we have Teen Romance starting bot side, Corn Dog starting top side. So if any level 3 ganks happen, it will only really be from Viego. Will probably be
Looks like
bot.
Team Romance is actually starting Wolves here, which is an interesting start. He might be looking to go. He might be looking to go for an early top gank using Ornn's pretty good CC at level 2, but considering that's warded, that's probably going to not turn out too well for him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It is again, I'm not too familiar with jungle pathing and whatnot, especially for Viego, but yeah, I think definitely strange considering I would expect most junglers, bar a few, to just start a buff, but see what happens as most of these lanes are going to be pretty chill. Obviously, bot lane, the Varus Alistar are going to get pushed in pretty early like we discussed, but they'll be able to catch their feet given how safe Ezreal is once he hits level 3. As for itemization, any special sort of, I guess, adaptations you think any of these champs should make? I think it's possible Varus builds a QSS actually this game.
Yeah, I don't know about special itemizations, but I think there's a decent chance that this Ezreal will end up building a Frozen Heart, because although later on a lot of her damage does come from her abilities, Aurora still uses her autos a decent amount to make sure she can actually get that damage, get that 3 hit in. So I think we might be seeing a Frozen Heart come out of us side. But
True. Also, did not realize Lucius on Varus has cleanse, so he definitely won't be building
Yep,
a QSS.
he did not fail the wisdom check. The cleanse is on the ADC, so it will take more than a few abilities, especially since cleanse does still reduce the amount of CC that you can take for a couple seconds after it's used.
Yeah, it'll be very useful, especially for the sort of pick-oriented Seraphine and Ashe ults that we've been seeing. This is largely how we've been seeing the spot lane be used, is they push early, and then around the mid-game, they start walking around the map, especially Ashe, just start sending that ult at people. This will really help with that, obviously. You no longer die to it. And as for other champions, I don't think Cleanse is particularly useful. I mean, it can help you against Viego a little bit. That's about it. On the other side, though, Ashe having barrier, no cleanse. I understand the decision. Obviously, Alistar knockup cannot be cleansed. Varus ult can, and the brand stun. So
yeah, the cleanse not taking cleanse on Bobby's side here actually feels a little off for me as well. That Varus ult is going to be dealing massive damage to you late game if it ever hits you, and you'd expect that, especially with how immobile the comp generally is. Like if Varus manages to hit on Honey or Bobby here, whichever one of them didn't get hit is probably gonna get caught up in that big circle around the Varus ult that does root you if you stand in it for too long. So they're gonna be forced with the choice of repositioning and getting out, or taking a whole bunch of damage, getting rooted, and giving Varus another opportunity to get that 3-stack attack back on him.
yeah, I agree. I think there's a chance that Bobby ends up building QSS, but I think generally he might just be toughing it out.
And Leo actually getting really actually getting absolutely gapped in lane here almost, as he's about half the CS of the set, and he's also down a teleport at this point, but they're even health. So even if Set doesn't back here, which it looks like he is choosing to do, Leo is still going to be super far behind here, even with the Ornn being able to buy his own items. And speaking of buying his own items, he's actually going to get caught out by Spencer here. As he manages to nearly escape, but loses the wave shove in the process.
Yep, and as that was happening, Drag went over to the side of Looks like Bobby and Hani gonna try to run down Saint here. Gonna flash double E from Hani. They're gonna put a lot of damage on the Saint. Will he make it out? He is almost certainly going down. That's first blood over to Bobby, and really no trade back. Brand not in a position to actually trade one back. And just a very awkward position for Lucius as well. He's kind of stuck under tower. An excellent chase down and a well worth it flash from Hani.
Yeah, it looks like I was interested that it was interesting to see that the Alistair they actually did manage to take down the Alistair. I wouldn't have expected that out of a Vampiric Scepter start and just boots on that turn. But it looks like Aurora are gonna miss the what happened there.
It looks like Ezreal just barely walked out of that ult. Didn't even need to use the arcane shift.
He did end up having to use the flash though, at least. But I feel a little bit offended on Cupid's part. That looked like oh wow, incredible reflexes from Bobby. Just to
But he will walk right back in. He's gonna use the barrier, but it's not gonna be enough.
He walks right back into the Alistair that he knew was in the bush.
Yeah, a bit of a question mark thing, but I think he thought he could kill Lucius. Oh, and we do have a tech pause here.
I think we may have found what happened. I would not be surprised if the call here. Oh no, looks like we're going to immediately be resuming. I'm not sure what happened there. I would have assumed it was a tech issue on Bobby's part because that walk-in didn't seem entirely correct.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And it looks like we're still on pause here for a bit.
Yeah. So the issue there was apparently that Teen Romance was on 1,000 ping for a second there, which if you've ever played jungle before, if you've ever played League before, you know just how fun it isn't to be on 1,000 ping.
Yeah, it could definitely be a result of just how the tournament is set up. We have teams from basically all across the United States, so not sure what server we're playing on here, but it's likely we might have a big server differential between these teams. Might explain it. But looks like things might have smoothed out as we get here. Looking at gold just real quick, definitely a huge gold lead on Spencer in the top lane. Bot lane looks relatively even. We have a kill onto Ashe and I guess one assist each. Oh yeah, perfect. We get the gold screen. Yeah, bot lane a small gold lead. Top lane's really where we see that sort of 500 gold lead. Overall, though, team's mostly in equilibrium. Gonna be looking at Teen Romance here to make some moves here. He's level 7, he can gank properly. Leo, ooh, flash and mention from Spencer, flash away from Leo. And it's gonna be a trade, 1-for-1 there.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade and more dangerous for Leo here than the actual kill, because the actual kill gold doesn't matter that much to Ornn. He's gonna be behind by about 20-25 CS no matter what. What's more important in that is the fact that Ornn loses so much XP off of these next couple of waves, because the wave is going to be bouncing back into Spencer. And Ornn, level 13 is his big power spike. He starts getting those masterwork items. That's 1,000 gold worth of stats to all the items on his teammates as he levels up. He's going to be a little bit slower on that now, and it'll give more time to really scale up before they have to deal with those really statted up items and that power spike courtesy of Ornn.
Yep, we have both jugglers hovering here bot. We talked about Teen Romance, but at this point, Corndog has passed the phase of the game where he cannot really gank, and he is now available. I mean, level 7 Brand, he's got the faded Ashes, absolutely capable of ganking with the ult, especially with Alistar setting him up. So I can't help but think that Team Romance may have wanted to capitalize on this early game a little bit more here, as we reached the point in the game where both junglers are kind of in equilibrium, which is really not where you want to be as a Viego, looking down the barrel of a brand jungle.
Yeah. Viego especially is not very fun if you're playing into Brand Jungle, because no matter what happens, you are going to get hit by that Q. You might think you can dodge it, you can't.
Leo's
You
in
don't have
trouble
enough
though.
room. But Leo actually stepping up does see Corndog, manages to back off there. Corndog I think showing his hand just a bit too early.
Yeah,
But
just a little bit too early on that.
what we should be seeing soon is, I believe, the next set of grubs. Although we can't see the timer right now, the next set of grubs should be coming up very, very shortly. Yeah, it's going to be coming up in a minute here. So Drake and the grubs going to be coming up super shortly. We'll be seeing if the teams decide to just split them, or if they decide to fight one of these early objectives here with the item advantage they may or may not have.
Yeah, we have basically all ults up for everyone, so this next fight has the potential to be cataclysmic should both teams opt for the same objective. Another sort of outcome we might see is just a split down the center. One team takes drag, one team takes grubs, but looks like both teams kind of want to position themselves towards drag. Marisol hit it onto the Ashe though. That's a root, but oh, flash from Alistar gonna go in onto Hani. Hani's gonna flash away. A little bit of a misplay from Alistar, actually bumps Bobby away after he got rooted by the Verisol.
Yeah, Saint didn't manage to hit the knockup. So right as Lucius threw out that Q, immediately Aurora hitting four. Everybody is stuck in there. Everybody is going to be stuck in there. That Seraphine is going to hit two. Viego getting the possesses off. Peter Griffin and Lucius both getting chunked down. And if they are not careful, this could lead into a dive as two of us members fall. And the equilibrium of this game is rapidly shifting back towards I Like Apples.
Yeah, really showing off the power of that Aurora ult. Trapping 3 members, basically instantly killing one. And the other 2 are just doomed to have the Seraphine ult roll over them. Not much they can do. And I believe a flash was invested under tower by Brands. Or no, it was someone invested a flash they didn't
Corndog and Team Romance both flashed. I believe Corndog flashed away, and then Team Romance flashed after him.
Yeah, so lots of flashes, lots of ultimates, and Drag also going to get taken for I Like Apples. That's sort of their extra reward for winning that fight. Grubs are up. It looks like Corndog's going to position himself to be able to take that. And definitely going to get 1 or 2, but Team Romance is pinging. He wants it. He wants to interrupt this. He's got the support of Cupic and Hani here.
Oh, Peter Griffin actually getting hit by that, uses the E, has to flash out just to survive a little bit longer, but that flash is definitely going to be felt later. Or rather, the lack of it is going to be felt later, as the Aurora coming back up, the Viego coming back up. The next fight that Ezreal takes, he will just not be able to get that double dash away. He's going to be a lot less safe.
Yeah, that's true. And Viego finished the board. He's got 2 kills to his name, 150 bounty. Viego's gonna be really showing his colors very soon if he hasn't already. This Viego is very dangerous at the power level he is, especially considering Brand fell a little bit behind after that play. And
yeah,
Viego
obviously now we're kind of seeing exactly where this matchup. Oh, yeah. So it looks like we're getting more. Looks like we're getting more ping issues here. Team Romance actually having to disconnect from the lobby. But for now, Lucas, my fellow caster, would you like to play a game with me?
I would love to play a game with you, Flight.
Oh, all right. Well, we're gonna get to reconnect here, but let's see if we can play a game of what's the AP ratio. I am going to name an ability, and you are going to try to guess what the AP ratio is on that ability.
All right. I'm so happy.
What champion would you like to start out with? What champion would you like to start with? Out of the 10 here, what champ?
All right. Let's go with the one I'm not familiar with. Let's go with Aurora.
Alrighty, going to Aurora. What do you think the AP ratio is on her E? It's called the Weirding. It's a blast and then a quick dash back. What do you think the ability ratio is? I'm going to guess
Hmm. 70% is my guess, locking in.
Sadly, you are incorrect. That ability
Ah.
ratio is 80% right now. Would you
Ah.
like to try again with a different ability?
I'm fairly confident her Q adds up to 100 or 110, so I'll say her Q is 60-40.
So that is also incorrect. You did get the 40% correct in that her initial cast and the cast back, the minimum, is both 40%. So if you are hit by the first, you are going to take an 80% AP ratio. But for every other bullet you're hit by, you are going to take an extra 8% AP in addition to the base damage. So
Let's see.
it could be 100 AP, but it could be a whole lot more if you're unlucky enough to fight an Aurora in the wave.
I see.
And
Well,
looks like that's all our time for now. So now let's see those incredible AP. Let's see those incredible AP scalings in action as one single ability rotation from an Aurora at 0 items manages to take Ezreal down to half health.
yes, and we did see while we were playing that game, we saw Ornn flash up in the top lane to get away from Set. Set optimizing beautifully, opting for the black cleaver first. Ornn's going to be stacking armor, so it makes a lot of sense. The only way Spencer can actually get pressure is if he strips that armor, so going to be opting for that. And it is useful as well for later in the game, especially when Viego could possibly build like a Death's Dance or something like that. Might end up actually using the Black Cleaver there as well.
Yeah, speaking of Viego, it actually is really interesting to see him opting for this Blade of the Rune King. Blade of the Rune King, an item really known for its for dealing extra max HP damage, and although it synergizes well with Viego, a lot of Viegos recently have generally decided to not take the item in favor of Kraken Slayer, specifically because of how Kraken Slayer interacts with Viego's kit, where every couple of autos he basically has a Ginsu passive because he marked someone with an ability. So Kraken just scales up incredibly quickly, so it is interesting to see the Blade of the Rune King.
We'll
Speaking
see
of the Blade of the Rune King going to be going in on the Ezreal, but going to get shut down by the immediate response from 4 of Us team.
And that was a beautiful counter to the Ezreal Arcane Shift. If you saw, the Viego eat in onto Ezreal, forced the Arcane Shift as the Aurora ult was dropping, so he then did not have it to escape the Aurora ult.
Sadly, Alistair did come prepared, and there's a lack of dead Ezreal and a lot of dead blue side teammates.
Yep, and that's going to tie the game up in kills. 4-4 gold lead, basically all but dissolved. I mean, we have looks like about a 5 to 8k gold lead on here.
800, not 8k, but yes.
Yeah, sorry, that's why.
I feel like if there were an 8k gold lead, I feel like this game would be a lot more over.
Oh, yeah,
that would be terrifying.
Definitely not. But yeah, looking at where that gold is specifically, a lot of it's top lane. Like basically all of it is top lane.
Yeah, there is currently 1,000 gold lead in the top lane compared to everything else. Having said that, there is also 1,000 gold lead the other way in the jungle for Team Romance over Corndog here. So you kind of see everybody bounce each other out just a little bit, but yeah.
Yep, and with Drag coming up soon, we see a lot of pings bot lane, both teams vying for vision control here. And this is dangerous, especially looking down the Ashel and Seraphine ult, not something you want to face check into. And by that same token, an Alistar and a Varus ult, not something you want to face check into either. So both teams really looking to establish this vision control.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be a lot more scared if I was on team I Like Apples, because right now you'll notice that Seraphine does not have a completed item, whereas the Knight's Vow is fully locked in on the side of so that Varus, Lucius, nowhere near as weak as he seems, and he's going to actually shut down Cubic immediately. Not a single chance given to escape. There's so much CC coming out of the Varus, coming out of the Alistair. Immediate cleanse as well from Lucius. Still gonna get
Seraphine.
Oh my god, yeah. And Team Romance gonna get the reset, gonna get the Ornn, gonna get the knockup, gonna get the Alistair, gonna get the Brand, gonna get the Drake, as everything comes to a head. And I was just hyping up earlier but it is actually a complete turnaround from I Like Apples. Leo's teleport coming in, absolutely saving the day. As Hanny finds, I believe it was, you said 4, yes?
It was 4, yeah. That was
Yeah.
incredible re-engage. First forcing out the cleanse.
Into a knockout, but
yeah, first forcing out the cleanse, the insta cleanse from Lucius. Incredible reaction time. Oh, Lucius gonna grab Bobby on the back there.
Speaking of Lucius, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, force the cleanse out of Lucius so that when the Seraphine ult travels through, he can't cleanse it. They were all really low. If Lucius had his cleanse up, he might have been able to actually take down a few members. But with that cleanse gone, the 4-man Seraphine ult followed by the Ornn ult, just a lot of CC, a lot of damage, a lot of linear damage, especially with the Ashe Seraphine. It's a lot of damage in one direction, and they were all lined up perfectly for it. So even though I Like Apples won the initial fight, the re-engage from just put them in an amazing position, and again equalized a fight that otherwise was going to put them down, and it definitely give up the Drake.
Yeah, I will say if we do end up getting clips from this game, I have a strong suspicion that's going to be the clip of the game there. Anyway, going back to what's going on here, we see that Baron is actually going to be coming up in a minute here, but neither team is really in a position to take advantage of it. You'd expect to see, as you can see here, Spencer and Leo both migrating to the bot side. Actually going to be an Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming out onto Lucius with no stun, with no cleanse actually left to him because of that earlier engage. But he's just going to fire back the Varus ulti. Nothing is going to happen other than a couple of ults down.
Yep, both linear engage tools used. Essentially a 1-for-1 as Teen Romance going to invade the red bot side jungle here. And take the buff, just denying a little bit of gold from that brand.
Right, you can't just let him get away with that, Corn Dog.
Yeah,
you gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah, he's been in a rough position this game, just generally behind on gold. He has the Leandries, he's also working towards that Merlinomicon. But yeah, we haven't really seen the brand be able to exert that sort of amazing zoning brand pressure that we know brand is capable of. But with that said, it's sort of a sleeping dragon because Brand obviously scales incredibly well. I don't think anyone's excited to see a Brand against them, especially with an immobile team that has a hard time getting rid of this Brand ult. Yeah. And once it starts bouncing between everyone, there's not a lot of tools to stop it. So hopefully we see him sort of come online later this game, and I think that'll especially happen once he hits that second to third item.
Yeah, I will say one thing to keep on the lookout for is I think this Aurora in the side lane, because Aurora has some incredible burst potential and not a lot of people are expecting it. She's a new champ. Nobody really knows what her ranges are. So you either have to play really cautious or you're probably not playing cautious enough, and there's no real perfect distance from her that's been figured out yet. So you really have to be on. Have your head on the swivel if you're going to be fighting on Aurora or even laning against her in the mid game.
Yeah, and speaking of side lanes, Set opted for the Hole Breaker second item, so gonna opt into that sort of split pushing playstyle. I think it's a little mitigated by the fact that Ornn just generally has very good wave clear, but I think if Ornn isn't there, then suddenly the Set can put immense pressure with that. And it also gives him a much better chance at killing Ornn with the extra armor and MR. I mean, we're seeing even here, they are isolated and Ornn is still trading relatively equally with them. Just he has that much armor. And that's sort of the problem that you run into with these bruisers into Ornn. It's why Ornn is so good. Is he is essentially a brick wall in the side lane while also buffing your team with those upgrades. So
yeah, and I will say, I said that we might see a Frozen Heart on Oz side, but it looks like it might actually be I Like Apples looking for that Frozen Heart here on the Ornn, trying to shut down that Varus, that Ezreal, that Set, trying to make sure they can't autos as quickly, which is really interesting to me. Also of note, oh wait, hold on, Spencer had to flash. That's gonna be Leo's ultimate was actually used there. Call of the Forge God, hitting Spencer or making him flash, and that's gonna be a summoner down for this next fight here.
Yeah, and you were right. It is Frozen Heart second item, but Ashel immediately invested on the St. Ghoul. He's just going to shrug it off, but he is now stuck in the Aurora ult. He'll try his hardest, but he is almost certainly going down here, even through the Alistar ult. A flash ult from Hani hits 2, cleanse invested. Hani will immediately get hit and down for that, though. And it is 1-for-1. Bobby just barely makes the way. The true shot.
Woo, Bobby!
Go wide.
Oh, run, Bobby, run!
barely make it out. Oh, but a TP in
Spencer.
from Spencer. This is dangerous for Teen Romance and Bobby. They're fast. They're going to try to make it out. The slows from Bobby, and even the re-engage. Cupid going to be forced to flash. Peter Griffin chasing him down. Nothing going to come out of that, but the re-engage. Leo is here. Gets hit by Brandon. Leo goes really, really low. All that armor does not protect him against the Brand. He takes a ton of damage on that front. And this is going to be drag almost certainly for Bobby is here, but he's way too low to really help. And it's still a 1-for-1, but does manage to grab the dragon.
I can say that was a very close fight. I think one thing that really Hani could have done better. I think the flash ult was a little bit too early, especially when the vehicle was still mid-possession animation on that Alistair. You can't really do anything while you're mid-possession, and even once you're out of possession, you've still got about a 1.5 second lockout on recasting that ult, on returning to all that damage as opposed to all the tank support stats that Alistair has. So Hani's ult forward was a little bit premature, and it led to Brand just being able to turn the tide on that fight.
I agree. Another thing is you can ult flash with Seraphine, which sort of makes it easier. Also might have delayed the cleanse from Lucius. Lucius was able to insta cleanse it because he saw the flash first. Again, not sure if it would have actually ended up mattering, but I do think, I mean, that was a very close fight though. Oh, but that's 3 ults invested onto the Brand. It's gonna go down. Saint though gets caught out, rooted, slowed. He might also go down. He pops the ult. He's a little.
Oh, Leo, no! You're
Make it
gonna
out.
see that call, the Forge God just forgot to pick up the return call there. Leo getting hit by Varus' secondary part, which is that anything still within range of whoever got hit after a little bit is going to get rooted as well. So I think we're gonna manage to get out of there. Spencer gonna be taking a turret bot, and Lucius gonna be taking a turret mid just for that. Yep, and that's gonna be a very sad teleport cancel from Leo, as the turret he was teleporting to does fall in the end there. But it's now, I mean, it could be anyone's game at this point. They essentially traded two inner turrets for the Baron, which actually is about 500 gold up on I Like Apples' part. But with all the sums used and all the ults used, this could happen to anybody, especially Bobby here. Saint Ghoul just barely gonna get slowed, gonna get taken out. Enchanted for Serrano coming in, but not much is gonna come of it. Just a
Amazing kill coming out from Hani. Saint Ghoul dropped to half. Team Romance thinking about a
Oh no!
re-engage.
Oh no! Everybody's rooted. Everybody's stunned. What happened there? That was
the
that?
Varus ult.
Nope.
Second hit from it.
No, I don't think that was Varus ulti. Yeah, Varus ulti has a quarter of its cooldown already down. I don't think that was the Varus. How did everybody get rooted there?
Not sure, but we will see. I Like Apples using the Baron to push down. The Aurora ult gonna trap Lucius and absolutely blow him up. He's gonna go down almost instantly. Brand gonna drop a bunch of damage onto I Like Apples, but it's just not enough. He's gonna go down to Team Romance's engaged. Thank Ghoul caught out as well. And this is almost certainly going to be an inhib, as they have the empowered minion.
I would even say it's a game over. Team Romance knows how this game is going to end, and he is ready to abuse it. No, it looks like they are going to step back here. A little bit odd, considering Spencer and Peter Griffin both don't actually have any real AoE attacks, and their teammates are still down for like 20 more seconds. So a bit of an odd back for me, actually.
Yeah, I guess they're playing it safe. They don't want to give any entries into this game.
I will say though, Aurora, absolutely ridiculous champ. You saw that. People no matter what, you're gonna find people who are trying to run out of Aurora. You can't, and in fact, what ends up happening is you actually just take even more damage.
Yeah, Lucius did not even come close to surviving. He took about 3/4 of his HP in about half a second from Aurora while being in the ult. He had absolutely zero chance.
Speaking of our fun AP ratio game, how much damage? How much do you think the AP ratio is on Aurora's ult? Keep in mind, this ultimate spans almost the entire lane and is completely undodgeable from basically any champion that doesn't have a very long range blink like Lissandra.
My guess is 80%.
For once, you actually guessed higher than I was expecting. It's actually 60%, And I'd say that's about 40% too high for how much utility that ultimate provides to a team.
Yeah.
Aurora is just going to be engaging on so many fights here. You saw even with no startup from the Call of the Fourth God, Aurora was just able to completely isolate and shut down the enemy ADC's enemy carries.
And here's the very unfortunate part about us team comp here is they are facing down an engaged heavy comp with an orange. They aren't even favored in the late game. And as I say that, the set ult going to be invested onto Bobby. He cannot get out. He's going to die to the set W. Hani going to try to make it out, but he has no flash. He'll get stunned through. It happens.
Cubic on the back line is going to be getting that flank in. Cubic actually going to be taking out Spencer here and going to be actually managing to turn this around almost.
Yeah, they're a little sandwiched here. Everyone about half HP.
Oh my god, wait! Cubic killing Ezreal here, gonna be making sure that they can't actually do this Drake. Team Romance, I think, strong enough to make sure that they can't.
Yeah, they might try to drag the Drake out. It looks like they are going to. This is gonna be dicey for Team Romance. He is not very healthy right now. And at this point, Brandon, especially the ADC here, are gonna have their cooldowns. Oh no, this is the worst time for a tech issue.
Well, I think from here we can kind of hear the tolling. We can kind of hear the tolling of the bell as we go into this last 3-minute stretch. If we manage to come back,
we're back.
Yeah, it looks like did manage to get Drake. It looks like Team Romance did actually die in the lead up to that. But we can hear the bells tolling. As I said, somebody is going to come out the victor soon. We just don't know who.
Unlike before, I don't think we can confidently guess one way or another. I mean, the gold is relatively even. I mean, there is a slight gold lead on the side of I Like Apples, but it's not much. I think either team could realistically win this, and because of that tech issue, we know it's going to happen in the next 3 minutes. So excited to see that. As for items, we see Ornn items completed on Viego and Ashe, and we'll likely see one on Aurora coming up soon. Ashe has opted for no QSS, so going to be vulnerable to that Verisol as well as the Brandstone.
I would also like to say, everybody, if we do actually get to that point, keep an eye out on Aurora's Rabadons here, because there is a cute little Easter egg where Aurora and Ornn actually have like a variant of Rabadons called the Witch's Hat, which Aurora actually wears.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
That's actually an Easter egg between those two champs, which is just adorable. But yeah, we will probably see that pretty soon here. Enchanted Crystallero actually gonna hit Lucius. That cleanse is gonna come out, but he is still trapped within the walls of the Aurora. Team Romance gonna be going down onto him. Aurora is just gonna be doing so much for the team. Ezreal down to the Viego. Everybody's going down. Cupid's going to be getting that kill on the Saint goal, and the push is starting, and I don't think it will stop anytime soon.
Ban Ashe. All these teams using Ashe Seraphine, the Ashe ult into the Seraphine ult, throw the Aurora ult on top. You don't even need the Aurora ult. This Ashe pick has been so good this stream. Like,
Leo getting double knockup there. Actually going to be absolutely annihilating Corndog and Spencer. Not long in this world. That's...
The cleanse is not enough.
Wait,
it's just not.
But yeah, that is going to be the end of the game, as I Like Apples absolutely shatters in the final moments there.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's just, you cannot undervalue the Ashe ult. The Ashe ult, Seraphine ult, it's just so good. I mean, yes, Varus has cleanse. It's not enough. Even if he insta-cleansed that, I don't think he was going to make it out of that Aurora ult.
I mean, Skyrim said it best and said it first. I was an adventurer like you, except I took an arrow to the face. An enchanted crystal arrow, even, as it stunned me for way too long.
Yeah, and that's assuming you have cleanse up. Like,
yeah,
it's very good. And the thing is, like, we are seeing a lot of tank supports, and I think tank supports are very good, but Seraphine is almost the exception. Seraphine is the exception.
So much value. Like, we haven't really been talking about it at all, because it's not really, like, other than a couple very notable moments, it's not really that important to the actual casting. But Seraphine's shield is absolutely ridiculous. If you thought Aurora was big, now imagine Aurora, but instead it just shields your entire team. We used to call that Locket of the Iron Solari back in my day, but now it's just an ability.
Yeah, Very exciting game, especially between our top seeds. There's a chance we see them play each other again. I mean, these two teams are seeded for the finals, so there's a chance later down the line we will see them in semis or even quarters or finals. And so stay tuned for that. We need you guys to watch tomorrow, Saturday, as well as Sunday morning. We're going to be playing
Yeah.
out the quarters, semis, and yep.
Make sure to tune into all the Summer Splash streams, actually, because there are a lot of cool games that we're streaming that you really don't want to miss. I know for a fact the Smash Ultimate stream is going on right now, and
Yes.
I've heard the distant cries of the Wombo combo coming from those lands over there, and I'm sure you
Yes.
don't want to miss that. But for now, we're going to be heading to a break. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Hello, valuable listeners. Welcome back to Summer Splash Day 1. We are in group stage for League of Legends. This is round 5, so this is the final chance for teams to solidify their group. Um, Previously, we watched a pretty amazing, very late game between and I'm blanking on the other team. But
It
either
is.
way,
I like apples.
yes, I like apples. It was a great game. I am Caesar. I am joined here by Flights. We're going to
Hello,
be
hello.
casting. Yep, we're going to be casting that fifth game for you. Just a reminder that by the end of Sunday, a team from upper division, a team from lower division will be taking home Phanteks excellent PC cases. That's a white case for the upper division and a black case for the lower division. They are the sponsors and also the prize support for this tournament here. So huge shout out to Phanteks, awesome company. They make amazing high quality PC cases. And if you want to learn more information, just go ahead and type in exclamation mark Phanteks. That's Phanteks to learn more. So we're hopping straight into pick and ban. We've been seeing Ash Seraphine absolutely tear it up recently, and surprisingly, we do not have that as
Yeah,
the first picks.
I will say I'm seeing. I expected to see a lot more Aurora in those early games, and now we're kind of getting to what I was thinking we'd see. That Aurora first pick actually coming out from EA UCD Gold. I'm just gonna call you UCD from now on. Versus handless losers. How are you playing League if you don't have hands? That is
Such,
probably yeah.
such is the enigma of their name.
I guess something Uder requires no hands to play joke, maybe. Anyway, we're going to be moving on to our second band phase here. Honestly, really interesting bands so far. We're seeing both Zeri and Smolder banned, which says a lot of interesting things about what kind of comps both of these teams don't really want to see, whether that's just a preferred pick of their opponents or if that's something they don't want to play against. Because you'd expect Zion Nautilus to have a really decent matchup into Zeri. And likewise, you would expect Kaisa Braum to be able to do really well into Smolder, with Braum just completely denying a lot of those scary Smolder abilities. And Mom is just not going to be coming if Braum is there.
Yeah, I think those are some excellent points. And as we jump into the second stage of bans, we've got a Jarvan ban. I think Jarvan's very good right now. I mean, Jarvan's always kind of good, but especially right now, his build is very tanky, very annoying to deal with as an ADC or any kind of immobile carry. And with Aurora and Kaisa, that counts. So, um, excited to see the Jarvan off the table if you're an AE UCD
Oh, a
Gold fan.
step ban. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting, especially because there's a lot of well, actually, never mind. Sorry, there's a lot of AP on UCD Gold side, so I guess it makes sense that they'd want to ban out one of those AP heavy bully top laners like Set. We did see Set perform relatively well in 2 games ago, so
Yeah, they did end up losing that game, but it was very close.
yeah, and it was a set
Oh,
advantage top lane in the beginning. Kindred locked in though. I love watching Kindred games. Kindred is one of the most skill expressive junglers, even the most skill expressive champions in the game. It is so incredible to watch Kindred players. All of them have their own unique quirks. There's a lot of interesting things you can do with Kindred, revolving around mark manipulation.
oh,
It's one of those champions that you can really go into the tank with. So
oh
I'm
no.
excited to see how this plays out.
Speaking
Silas locked in.
speaking of cool champs, what do you think? What do you think is worse than a Vayne with an AOE ult that you can't escape from?
Silas? Is that
Silas with an AOE ult you can't escape from. That is probably going to be Silas versus Aurora here in this mid lane. And I for one, am very interested in seeing the shenanigans that happen when two Aurora ults overlap.
yeah, and Sivir gonna be locked
Oh,
in
what?
here for the blue side ADC. That's interesting. Not very interesting. Where's that
Oh no.
going?
So I have a leg up on you here because have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Lol Dobby?
I have not.
It's a pretty big YouTube channel that kind of focuses on a lot of these really like meta pro play builds. And recently, and by recently I mean a couple of days ago, they had a video on Sivir mid. So if
I
if
see.
things proceed to my expectations, I imagine we will be seeing the Sivir mid here. Yeah, and that's actually going to be a oh hey, and we finally got an Aurora top as opposed to the Aurora mid lane, which is
Yes.
definitely going to be interesting to see.
Yes. Off screen, Flights was glazing up the Aurora top, so I am excited to see that in action. Yeah, and the Silver Mid. I have not seen this YouTube video, nor am I familiar, but it
Yeah.
makes. Is it a lethality build? Is it?
No, it's just it's kind of just a standard ADC build, but a lot of what it tries to do, it's really micro focused and it requires a decent amount of skill to play correctly. So let's see if Superiority can really live up to his tag here and prove himself the better mid laner. But it really requires a good understanding of how your opponent works, especially against Orianna, who's got a lot of relatively untelegraphed abilities if you don't play around them correctly.
Yeah, I think especially a huge skill expression moment is going to come with spell shielding the Orianna ult because that is a
Yeah.
very hard timing to hit. Orianna QW will knock off the spell shield if you do it too early. It will be very difficult to spell shield the Orianna ult, but if you can, it is huge. That is like a massive part of Orianna's DPS combo. So huge skill expression opportunity here for the Silver
Yeah.
mid lane. I'm excited to see this game. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be interesting.
yeah, I always love seeing Silas games play out because you just get to see the South player like have the gears in their head turn in real time. Like which ult should I use? And oftentimes you'll get these insane plays just because of how much utility Silas has, as long as he's not really far behind. So I am expecting the UCT jungler to just immediately be trying to go for that Silas for that Sivir because Xayah Nautilus versus Kaisa Braum. Um, although it's a relatively volatile matchup, I'd say that it's important to recognize Udyr is probably going to go there, and as long as Kaisa and Braum can really keep themselves together and not get ganked by that Udyr, avoid the Nautilus hook from Mira, that Silas is not going. That Silas is going to probably look pretty vulnerable by the time the wave crashes there. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, as we for the spectator delay, we'll wait it out, and we'll see you all in just a bit.
See you all.
And here we see the mighty Posicus giganticus coming in its natural habitat at the very start of a ranked game. These 10 players here are waiting for the opportunity to strike. They're waiting in their base, waiting to get their items, thinking about their choices, and soon only one team may stand. Hi, I'm Flight. Welcome back to Summer Splash 2024, the last round of the round robins, best of ones. I'm joined here by Lucas.
Hello, guys. That was a very excellent intro. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
A summoner has
But yeah, for now we are just waiting on one of the mid laners who's having some connection issues here. We'll probably be getting started real soon. But while we're here, any other insights you want to talk about for this game before we start up?
Not so much about the game, just so much about Summer Splash in general. Thank you to everyone watching. This kind of ties into the connection issue. This event takes place over many schools, over many parts of the United States, so it's just awesome that we get everyone here. We have people from all over the United States. I personally am from Florida. Flights, you're from California, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so we've got people from all over the place. Just an excellent time here on Summer Splash. This is my first year doing it. I will for sure be coming back next year.
Oh, absolutely. Same here. Absolutely. This has been an absolute blast. So, same as what Lucas is saying. Thank you so much, everyone, for letting us do this. And again, although it's been said before, thank you again to Phanteks for sponsoring us. This was absolutely a dream come true.
Yes.
And I did check out those cases. They actually look spectacular.
And the Gen G coaching program. I'm very familiar with Gen G because my school's team had a sponsorship with them at one point. We've worked with them a lot. Gen G, a very well-connected collegiate company. They are very good about connecting with colleges and young talent and making sure that everyone has opportunities. So thank you to Gen G coaching and as well
Looks
as
like we're going to be
obviously
starting the game
Phanteks.
here.
And yeah, we're gonna hop straight into that game.
And before anything starts up, here's the most important guess of them all. Who gets marked by Kindred Ultimate, or not Kindred Ultimate? Who gets marked by Kindred Passive first, do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's gotta be bot lane, right? I mean,
Oh, looks like our camera operators had their own pick here. Zooming in on the Sivir.
Sivir.
Admittedly, an awesome skin on that Sivir. That looks so
it
pretty.
is. Here's the problem with marking Sivir. Spell shield plus no CC in the mid lane pre-6.
Yeah, that's
That's
this
the
lane
only
is definitely
issue
going to be a
with
rough game for everyone. Like even Udyr, like Orianna gets a decent chunk of movement. Oh, and it looks like the Kindred has elected to mark the Udyr here first off.
Udyr.
So there's our
Okay.
answer. Looks like we might see some jungle shenanigans on our hands if
Yeah,
the Kindred has anything to say about it.
Ooh, I see. Its Yoru has the potential to join Kindred in an invade, and that would make my soul just completely jump with joy because
Minions have spawned.
I love doing that. I'm a big support equals invade player.
Level
Whether
1
you-
Fiesta, baby.
Yeah, you got to make it exciting. You got to make it pop.
Ooh,
And
cheeky little deep ward, but that random is going to be able to just get into those bushes here. Maybe ambush Lyho as he comes back to lane here.
yeah, and we talked about it a bit before, but we are seeing the debut of Aurora top here for the stream. We'll hopefully see it do well. I mean, it's into Sylas, so very volatile lane in general. Sylas, Aurora, two AP monsters in the top
They're
lane.
just two top laners chilling in bushes 5 feet apart. I think they are actually chilling in the bushes 5 feet apart. Hold on, have they even stepped out to CS yet? Oh, there we go. They're moving on the mini map. They're starting to CS a little bit here.
Yep.
Oh,
see-
and we're seeing a really early fight here. Mira actually going to get stunned up, but A1 is actually going to take so much damage from that Xayah level 1. Those feathers very deadly, especially even though she can't really call them back yet. And we're also of note, the junglers, as I said earlier, Littlefish is actually going to be moving towards that bot side. He's going to be trying to make sure the Kaisen and the Braum have a terrible day. But Borksnar is going to be moving top. We'll see if there's any chance of a chunk coming in on Lyho later on. Maybe a crash, maybe a dive. And superiority, likewise, very low for the start of a lane. Does have teleport, but the wave is an awful spot to recall from.
Yeah, gonna be forced to use those potions. Does also have biscuits, so that will also mitigate a huge hook onto A1CU. Gonna force the barrier out. Nothing more gonna come, but that was a nice little needle thread there. I did
Yeah,
not think that would hit.
I actually think. Oh my god! And just as we tab away, everybody's gonna go down. Chun's gonna flash forward and actually gonna get that first blood onto Ithiori and barely miss out on A1. Meanwhile, top lane, that random and Liho gonna be trading really hard, and we are actually gonna be seeing that dive as long as Udyr doesn't recall and come top.
Yeah, and this is terrible for A1U as the wave is actually pushing into their tower. So gonna lose even more CS than they otherwise would. The Xayah gets an excellent back. We'll likely have, well, we'll see here, two long swords and
That
some
extra-
potions.
That extra 10 AD is going to be deadly. Also of note, A1, absolutely no sums left. And the only way he has to escape is dash now. But Chun still has the ghost, and Mira does have that hex flash up. So there's a lot of engage on Hamlet Loser's side compared to UCD.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at other parts of the map, Kindred gonna take their first back. Oh no, it gets interrupted by Udyr. The mark is on, but Superiority is gonna get first to the punch here. Flash from Bortsnort, not gonna let him get out. He's almost certainly going down here. Superiority grabs that kill, and that is an absolute travesty for EA UCD Gold, as it is now 2-0 in favor of the Handless Losers, and a kill on the mid lane, which is huge.
Yeah, this is starting to look really, really dangerous. They're really praying that Aurora doesn't fall behind. Otherwise, these lanes are going to become a very disappointing prospect for ganks.
Absolutely, and Superiority has opted to grab a Cole as well as the Lord's Blade, so gonna go for a little bit of extra gold generation. Sivir is obviously very good at CSing. Gonna have to push into this Orianna, especially once that static ship comes through, assuming that's what he's building.
Superiority, yeah, Shiv is going to be the first build on the Sivir mid. After that, you just kind of tend to build like a regular ADC itemization, but Shiv is definitely a priority for Superiority here. And as soon as he has it, there's not much Diskin is going to be able to do.
Yeah, and Aurora gonna go pretty low up here in the top, but the trade isn't horrible. Definitely gonna go low. Has 2 potions though, so shouldn't struggle too much as far as getting the CS here. Oh, but Silas is gonna land the dash onto him.
Doesn't die there.
Take one turret shot. Yeah, that was an excellent kill there from Liho.
I bet Liho's sweaty. Liho. I'm gonna go with Liho because you said it. I'm betting he's sweating bullets right now, and actually the Hex Flash gonna come in. Chun gonna be able to take down Ithiori. Littlefish coming in to just secure the kill there. Even more tragedy in the bot lane here. 4-0 now.
Yeah, a pretty big lead developing here in the bot lane as well as the top lane.
So here's the funny thing. That random is trying to fight this. He loses that. That is a level 6 silence. Your ult is going to get stolen if you try to go for that. But yeah, this is coming in. I don't think it's going to be a dive. Yoru thankfully gets back in time before this can turn into a very one-sided stomp. But I don't think they'll be able to get anything more out of this. And that play actually does go over to Chun, so he's going to be able to get extra 160 gold on top of all the kills he's already gotten. And Mira actually does get the hook on Yoru, takes him down to half health as he tries to go in for these boards. But it looks like Bortsnort is here. He's going to be able to take down Mira, just getting a little bit too greedy. No mark on the Nautilus though, so it's just going to be a kill.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to see. Has Kindred gotten a jungle camp mark yet?
I do not believe so. Kindred has not yet gotten a mark. Udyr, I believe there was one mark on Gromp. I want to say it was either Gromp or Krugs, but there has been no mark taken so far.
Yeah, one important part about countering Kindred is really camping those marks. For those who aren't familiar, when Kindred reaches 4 marks, he gets a massive buff, especially to range. That 4 is sort of the magic number with Kindred, but Bortsnort and Littlefish gonna duel it out here. Littlefish gonna gain the upper hand with his teammates here, but Bortsnort gonna pop the ult. Huge Orianna ult lands onto 2 members though, but the Kindred ult gonna keep everyone alive, and plus the heal. Limbo gonna use Flash to get back out of the Baron Pit.
Oh,
Yoru flashes
no!
after him. He's stuck.
No!
Oh no, he's just gonna sit there.
Oh wait, no, red. It's Brom. It's Brom.
That random
Who cares?
yeah, yeah. Gonna be able to jump over. Oh, Flash Mira onto the Oriana, and she's dead. It's yours also in trouble here as Handless Losers are running down in UCD Gold. Littlefish gonna grab another. It is 7-1.
So
Yeah.
I have been informed that Kindred does in fact have one mark so far, and did manage to get a mark somewhere, but I don't think that mark is gonna save anyone. That random gonna be flashing away from Littlefish, trying to keep themselves alive, but that Q is gonna miss. That random is out of mana, and Littlefish is gonna be getting that turtle shield back up. That random manages to find the kill right before he dies. Miron just not quite enough to save him with the CC, but that's still gonna be a 1-for-1.
And this is rough. We're talking about a 2k gold lead at 8.5 minutes.
Oh god! Oh, we're already at 2.5k gold. Oh no!
Yeah, it's a lot. Boardstar gonna cancel that out a little bit, doing some counter jungling, and like I was saying, 4 stacks is the magic
though. I don't know if he'll be able to actually get the steal on that. I don't think he will be able to. Looks like Littlefish got it here. Yeah, Kindred just not quite enough damage yet to be able to do anything there.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, looking at Handless Losers, I think they're definitely at a huge advantage going into this 10-minute mark, as they have double ADCs in the bot and mid lane, as well as an sort of AP mid laner in the top lane. Liho gonna be running away. Dat random noob doesn't quite have the damage, but he's gonna pop ult onto Liho. Bortsnor is here. And Leo's gonna steal the Kindred ult, gonna go invulnerable, which gives enough time for Littlefish to arrive to stun the Kindred and kill her. Excellent play here from Leo, stealing the Kindred ult, buying enough time for his jungler, and they turn that right around.
Yeah, as I was saying, always just an absolute pleasure to see a Sylas who's really good at what they do. You get to see things like the Kindred just managing to turn it on herself with the ultimate. Just perfect usage of ability. Speaking of Sylas here, this is a horror movie. This is a horror movie in the making. That random with no ultimate and no flash is going to be very, very dead.
Yeah, poor Bunny. As the patient hunter gets his prey.
Let's give a quick thank you to the camera operator for that incredible cinematography there. As we see, it's Yoru and Bortsnark coming in mid here trying to catch Mira. Actually going to be able to catch them here. Mira's ignited. Yoru getting the Braum ult down, but Mira is actually probably going to make it out here. Never mind. No flash. Actually, I thought there was tech flash there, but not. Superiority going to have to flash away from Bortsnark, just making sure they can't actually get that kill fully in. A1 actually going to be taken down. A1 actually be taken down by Chun, and everybody's coming mid. Liho coming mid as well. Nobody's dying yet, though. I stand corrected. Yoru is dying to Liho as this mid lane getting shoved in. Oriana nowhere to be found, and Bortsnor very, very low with no ultimate available. Littlefish is just waiting in the wings there. The Udyr Ram form coming out. Nope, never mind.
Yeah, Chun got the solo kill onto A1 there in the bot lane, even with A1's barrier. It looks like Chun invested with the Ghost and the Flash for that, but an excellent solo kill. That's a 2-0 Kaisa and a 2-0 Sivir and a massive 5-0 Sylas.
It actually looks Superiority decided to throw Ghost in here and go for Essence Reaper, apparently deciding that he had enough waves here already. Aurora ult gonna miss.
Yep, unfortunate.
That was a very expensive dash and a very expensive kill as he then goes forward directly into Liho's chain.
Yeah, Liho gonna punish
This is why you never step up into the Sylas, but
the Nautilus Engage is gonna run towards UCD, but they're gonna have enough disengage to get out of there. And at this point, Handless Losers are controlling the jungle of UCD Gold.
Oh, A1.
A1C,
oh,
no.
A1, no.
We'll see if he's able to get out. He's gonna get rooted, stunned, and nope, not even a chance. The TP does come in though.
Oh no, wait, no, this is oh no. Oh, that Aurora ult, by the way. Killer Instinct from Liho actually just used to get out here. Mira is going to be taken down. Flash from Yoru, jump over the wall from that random. Probably going to be Liho's death here. It's get stunned by that fourth Braum kick. And that's actually going to be 1,000 gold over to Aurora. Let's see if that can change the tides of the game at all, or if the Sylas is just going to start absolutely curb stomping people.
Yeah, UCD showing some signs of life, starting to equalize the gold a little bit. One important thing to note is that they do have a decent bit of scaling on their side. I mean, they're up against a Kaisa and Kindred, which also scale very well, but excuse me, sorry, I had that mixed up a little bit. They're up against a Xayah Sivir who scale very well, but Kindred and Aurora in particular will scale extremely well in the late game if they can manage to get gold on those characters. And luckily for them, those are the characters with the kills. So Kindred 3-3 got that massive, I believe got a shutdown onto someone, maybe Chun or Superiority. No, neither of them. But Aurora with that 1,000 gold shutdown we just talked about, but Superiority gonna get caught out. That's a shutdown down, and Bortsnor and Itzoru gonna go on the offensive. A1C gonna take down Mira on the side, and that's a nice pick there for UCD.
Ori actually kind of coming back here. Might still be down about 20 CS, but now pretty even in terms of like kills. Yeah, still down 1,000 gold, but again, as we said, showing signs of life there.
Yeah,
the
thankfully,
only problem here is
Orianna ult is Orianna ult. No matter the items, it is still an amazing pick tool, especially combined with the Braum and the Kindred. Especially Kindred and Braum make an excellent combo because Kindred's Q counts as an auto. Yeah. So
I
very good at stacking that stun.
Aurora ult and Orianna ult is basically just a really expensive, really big Veigar combo.
Yeah, definitely a good synergy there. Chun in a little bit of danger, but without minions, I don't think that random can really put that much pressure. We do see Bortsnor waiting in the wings, but he's going to go ahead and leave. Discwin has to flash away as his mid-tier 2 is almost certainly disappearing here.
Yeah, that's gonna be really dangerous. We do see Kindred getting the flank on Superiority, but just not nearly enough damage to stop Superiority from chunking him down to the third of his health, just walking by here. Speaking of the battle between two champions that can call back their abilities to themselves, it's Aurora versus Xayah. Aurora actually going to commit the ulti here. Oh no! Oh, that random no! Oh no! Oh, he did not ward. Little fish.
Blood in the water.
As Udyr does, and that is a very dead bunny rabbit.
Oh, flash invested.
Bunny rabbit's not dead. Yoru actually going to be able to save that random and get back that kill there.
Bortsnor grabs Chun on the bottom. That's a positive play for UCD Gold. They are crawling their way back into this.
They're only 3,000 gold behind now. But I mean, as much as that is a joke, there is actually a chance for them to come back now. All those shutdowns have been taken. They're getting to take turrets here. Superiority is going to try for something here, but he's probably not going to get a kill. So all that's left now is to not die to Mira and Superiority coming in here. I believe on the hunt just used the flash forward onto that random, but he is invisible. Die another day. Oh no! The dash out of the die another day immediately takes him down, and that is going to be the turret falling as well, probably.
Yeah, and Liho.
Meanwhile, Liho versus Diskin. Styles may not have a shutdown. He's still 7-1. There's no hope remaining in that field.
And another thing to consider is, though they are 3,000 now, almost 4,000 gold down, a lot of that gold is on Liho. So, yes, they are definitely down. The gold for UCD is concentrated where they need it, and a lot of the gold for Handless users is on Liho. And now also Superiority, just the kills that Superiority just picked up. But
yeah,
I think in order for UCD Gold to get back into this, they have to keep getting these picks, keep finding out these members that aren't necessarily as strong. Although their bot tower almost certainly going down. Flash ult for Mira though onto the Kaisa. Kaisa dropped very low. No Superiority on the hunt to chase them down. They're gonna get out just fine.
So I did just look this up because I thought I might have gotten it wrong, and it turns out yes, Kindred ult not actually called Die Another Day. That's the arena augment. It is actually called Land's Respite. This will not stop me from calling it Die Another Day because that is just so much cooler. Speaking of dying. Oh, hey, shenanigans! Oh wait, no.
It's actually a pretty even fight here as that random doing a great job of kiting out Liho, but the damage is a little too much.
Wait, does that random win this? Oh wait. if Aurora's E comes up, that could be a win. Aw, Aurora's E just barely
Borsnort is
misses.
here though.
Borsnort.
Borsnort is here to save the day.
Oh no! The stun and the knockup actually hits from Liho, and now his teammates are here on the hunt. Kindred E is going to be going down just barely, and the mastery flash just to top the cherry. All
What
right.
a close
That's not
fight there.
how this game goes. Yeah, but looks like Little Fish is going to be picking up the Rift Barrel here. Probably going to be breaking into those tier 2s here. Either going to be going top for Liho to just get a little bit more ahead, or more likely the mid turret, because if you take down that mid tier 2, that opens up the map a lot, because right where Superiority is standing, handless losers will be able to walk along that without fear of being spotted, as long as they can manage to clear the wards in that area. And that is a very dangerous tool to not be able to cover, to not be able to have vision on any entrance to your jungle other than the ones right by your base.
Yeah, excellent points there. And as we see blue side sort of press their advantage, we're going to have some high-level objectives coming up here pretty soon. If we could, I would absolutely love it if we could get a stack check on the Kindred for the marks. Apologies for not tracking it myself. But as we go through, the red side, UC Gold's really going to be relying on this Kindred and Orianna and the Aurora to really set up these picks. I mean, unfortunately, the 0-6 bot lane, not very impactful here, especially in the face of this massive Sylas. Speaking of massive Sylas, huge ult combo dropped onto him, and he's going to use Stolen, Die Another Day, excuse me, Lampus Fight. That's going to keep 3 members up. Borsnort, 1 HP, going to run away, and they will get the shutdown onto the Sylas Mira, running for their life. As
A1 actually going to pick up the Nautilus.
Chun going to grab one, though. Chasing down another. So many people are low. A1C probably going to grab Mira. We'll see with the speed boost. No. Not going to be able to grab the Mira. Oh, and his reckoning is coming. His Superiority and Little Fish are looking for him. This is
if you stand very, very still, they won't see you. Oh, no, they saw you.
Really unfortunate there for A1C. Not able to get that Nautilus, and then dies for it as well. But they did get the shutdown onto the Sylas. That was a lot of gold. I believe it went in the pockets of Borsnort? I don't know. I actually don't know.
I believe it was either Borsnort or A1. Sadly, I don't actually think that's good for them, because in the process of killing the Sylas, they did also feed a triple kill over to that Xayah, and Xayah with IE, especially fairly early into the game for it, is a singularly terrifying concept, no matter who you're playing as or against.
Absolutely, and I did just get confirmation we have 3 stacks on Kindred, so not quite at that 4-stack range increase, which is really what Kindred wants. Fight might have gone differently if we had that stack on Kindred, who knows. But we're going to be looking to grab those stacks, but the problem is handless losers have sure control over the top side jungle. It's going to be hard for Kindred to get those stacks outside of getting actual kills. So as we see that random move though, getting ulted by Liho's stolen ult. Gonna take the teleport.
He tried to be cool. Sorry, Liho, you're not quite that much of a gamer yet. You're gonna be going in though against A1 and Borsnort, managing to get out with the flash over the wall. No killer instinct follow up. A1 knows he's dead if the Sylas manages to land the Kingslayer onto him. So we're just gonna let the Sylas get away. We're gonna reset everything, as it looks like handless losers has taken this time to just take a Baron for themselves. No biggie.
It's Yoru knows what's going on, but I don't know if Orianna is enough to do it. Might try to get a steal with that ultimate. It's not enough though, as blue team handless losers will grab that Baron, as well as this Mark over here, which is another denial for the Kindred Mark. And we'll see what they can do with this Baron. Yeah. It's going to be defense mode here for UCD Gold.
I think at this point, Kindred's only real chance to get those marks, and she's kind of figured it out by now, looking by the Sylas mark. Looks like the only real chance to get these marks now, especially this late in the game, is gonna have to be the marks on enemy champions, because there's no way Kindred is going to be able to get into enemy jungle and then get out again unless she wants to give up a life per stack, which I would, but I also am not as high ranked as these players for a reason. So we're probably going to see a lot of these stacks from now on come from champions as opposed to the camps.
And something interesting is that we don't actually have, oh, as I say that, Aurora gets Nautilus hooked and rooted, almost certainly going to die. Braum is there to save him though. He's going to, Noob is going to flash away, drops the Aurora on the Leho. This would be a huge kill on the Leho, especially for the
Oh, that random goes back in. Yeah, that's
A1C going to grab that.
Yeah, but that is going to be the Kindred mark we were talking about. That is going to be 4 marks. Kindred finally scaling into that extra range, into that extra damage and power on her abilities. Maybe we'll be able to see the tides change a little bit here.
Absolutely. And what I was mentioning with superiority Sivir, never mind, Chun is getting engaged onto, going to use the ult to disengage. Superiority Sivir, if you haven't heard, did not opt for the static shiv, actually went for the flicker blade and the IE.
That's for collapsing on superiority. Oh, he actually manages to get the flash out. I guess On the Hunt was still active. Oh wait, no, that's a Cloud trait. Oh, I did not realize we were at Cloud Soul yet. I thought we still had 1 to go. Yeah. Apparently while we were all yapping, and watching the Retro kind of drift slowly into the waiting arms of UCD, the Cloud Soul has actually been taken here at 23 minutes into the game. I thought we were still 1 off.
Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle for UCD, especially with that Cloud Soul there.
I mean, yeah.
Do they have the tools to do it? Potentially, but it's gonna really rely on a good team fight.
I honestly think that just sealed the deal, because literally every single champion on Handless Losers' side absolutely loves Cloud Soul. Like Silas could just use whatever ult, so Cloud Soul's fine on him. Udyr just gets so much movement speed, and On the Hunt just suddenly goes from just a little bit of movement speed to, oh dear God, Mach 1 Sivir coming directly at your face.
Yeah, and this Kindred only has 2 items, Ori only 2 items, Aurora only 2 items. They're just getting a little bit of back check here as another player gonna drop.
Keep in mind, that was a 3-man command shockwave, but it was just not quite enough with only 2 items. Mira making good use of that locket of the Iron Solari to keep the team alive instead of just having everybody die to that shockwave, which was well played by them.
Yeah, and I think I do approve of Superiority's build. I think when you play ADC Sivir, you kind of need the wave clear, but when you're playing mid Sivir, you're almost more of just a DPS tool. It's kind of like mid Tristana, where you're really just looking to burst down as fast as possible. And while Static Shiv is obviously very synergistic with Sivir, going for the Flicker Blades, i.e. really improves for single target damage, which is really helping them. I mean, granted, there are also thousands of gold ahead, almost 10,000 here. And as I say that, though, Mira getting caught a little bit. Mira is so tanky there. He's just gonna walk it off. Does not have to worry.
Udyr, your ult's a little broken there. I don't know if anybody spotted that, but the Udyr ult decided it wanted to cosplay as a boomerang for a second there. Not quite sure what that was about. I'll just chalk it up to 200 years.
Yeah, spaghetti code, something along those lines.
Yeah. And I mean, more than anything else, I think the scariest part is these level differences now. Like, you take a look at this team, Superiority and Chun, both already level 16, got those tier 3 ultimates. They're just going to be absolutely raining damage onto the enemy team, whereas A1 just can, respectively, 13 and 14. Just not quite the same damage, especially since they haven't really leveled up that third ability at all.
Yeah, it's definitely very precarious here for UC Gold, especially in the vision department, given that their jungle has been thoroughly ransacked by Handless Losers. And we're gonna see them start to reclaim it. They are definitely working to reclaim that, but they always have to be careful. You know, Mira and Superiority are lurking here. And as I say that, the Sivir ult's gonna get popped. Iziora gets hooked in. Littlefish is there.
Woo! That is a fast Udyr.
Kindred goes down almost instantly.
Oh wait, that's Command Shockwave. A1 gonna absolutely get murked by it, but barely gonna flash out with his leg. Both Q2. I'm so sorry, A1, for the curse.
Double kill for the Silas here. that random, I don't even know if he has enough damage to kill the Stylus here. His
Yeah,
healing
this
is
game,
too
just
much.
looking over, what I was going to comment on before everything just went to hell in a handbasket, him coming up with that bot wave here. Oh, wait, the shutdown actually coming down in superiority. That random might have to, he does not have anything. That is probably going to be the end of the game in the favor of Canvas Losers as we finish off this last round here.
Yes.
But it was a very good try by UCD Gold.
Yeah, a bit of a stomp, but a very entertaining game nonetheless. Especially just because the kills were high on both teams. Yes, 29 kills on Handless Losers, but 14 kills on UCD, and they had a lot of fun plays. So very entertaining game to watch. Very worthy of the game 5 round out.
I will say I'm kind of sad at how much I glazed the Aurora top, only for it to just perform so much worse than all the mid lane Auroras. That was
It happens.
I
It
I had
happens.
I
It's
had hope in my heart.
unavoidable. Thank you everyone for joining us for the first day of streaming. I've had a blast. That was group stage. So tomorrow we are going to be doing quarterfinals and semifinals. And then if you join us Sunday morning, we're going to be doing finals here. And I will
Yeah,
pull up the actual times in just a second.
yeah. My comrade Caesar here is going to be doing those grand finals, so make sure to catch him over there. As for me, if you'd like to tune into the TFT stream on Sunday afternoon, that's going to be where I'm casting for the grand finals of our TFT tournament. So hope to see you there, everyone.
Very exciting. And I do have the times. So tomorrow, tune in to quarters at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For us East Coasters, that's 3 hours ahead. So tune in at 1. And then semis is going to be after our break and after some Kahoot. Oh, no, I think Kahoot is on Sunday.
Kahoot is going to be on Sunday. I've actually seen the question list for this. It's massively entertaining. I'd really recommend it. But for now, just one more time, thank you so much to Phanteks for sponsoring this. Thank you so much to Genji for sponsoring us. Make sure to check them both out. You can type in Phanteks Genji in the chat just to see what they're about. But again, thank you so much for the sponsors, and hope
Yes.
to see you all again.
Absolutely. Tune into League, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for quarters, 5 for finals or for semifinals, and then Sunday at 10 a.m. for finals. Good luck
Or
to
4
all of
p.m.
our
Sunday for
teams.
TFT.
Yeah. Thank you, Flight. It was an honor casting with you.
And with you.
And I think we're going to sign off, ladies and gents. So tune in tomorrow.
Have a good night and have a good summer splash.